Middle East, Steve Witkoff tells Fox.
President Trump came into office, and lo and behold, what did he find out? He found out that we had contributed significantly more than the Europeans to this war effort, but the Europeans had loan agreements to pay them back. He just didn't think that was fair.
A legal win for the president. The U.S. Agency for International Development is making big cuts at the Supreme Court. Blocks an order to pay billions in foreign aid. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
What they think happened. 41 degrees here on Monument Circle. I'm Sasha Nixon. Here's what's trending at 9:02. Indy Metro Police are investigating after a man on trial apparently committed suicide. According to the Marion County Sheriff's Office, the man was out on a cash bond Wednesday. The MCSO did not specify for what crimes the man was on trial, but when he did not return to the courtroom, officers went to arrest him at Blackburn Terrace Apartments. There they eventually found the man with a gunshot wound to the head. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition, but he did not survive. But expect a windy day, says Greg Mello with the National Weather Service, Indianapolis.
Tomorrow is the bigger concern for sure. As we head into tomorrow during the day, we're expecting wind gusts between 35 and 45 miles per hour, and we can't rule out slightly higher gusts than that.
Mello notes that there won't be any rain or snow in the forecast over the next few days. If you live in or near Lebanon and need to make a trip to the BMV, you'll have to go to the library instead. Earlier this month, the organization revealed that the Lebanon branch was having a facilities issue, so staff members had temporarily set up operations in the Heritage Center of the Lebanon Public Library. According to an update Wednesday, BMV staff are still working out of the library, and you can visit them Monday through Friday from 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., but you will only be able to pay for services with credit cards at this time. The average price for gas across the state is currently $2.87 per gallon, according to GasBuddy.com. That's below the national average of $3.12. And now for your WIBC traffic update, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Sasha, looking at southbound 69, 96th Street, 282nd, a little bit slow right now. Inbound 65 tight from MLK to 21st. Northbound 6570 stop and go traffic from Washington Street through the North Split down to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping and code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Baer with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Yeah. Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man, high five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Oh, up top, bike shop.
Yeah. It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messelthorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
Now here's your forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy skies, a little cooler but still above average today. Breezy too. Today's high 53. Mostly cloudy skies, quiet, and just a touch colder overnight. Lows into the low 30s. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8's Marcus Bailey, 93 WIBC.
On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Calm down.
I love how you do that.
What?
You calm down.
You already know what the announcement is.
I know what it is.
There's no need for you to be acting the way you're acting right now. We will tell the people shortly what the big announcement is. We've got a bunch of things to get to first, though.
Yeah, it's a big announcement. It's huge.
I thought I was going to have to get some sort of restraining device for you. And it's like, good grief, lady. We'll tell the people today. We'll tell them in short order, and everybody will know about the big announcement.
I'm just super excited about it. That's all.
It is the Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob Casey here. Yes, we do have a big announcement coming up. In fact, the announcement's so big it'll stretch all the way from here to 200 West Washington. And for those of you who don't know directions, that's the Indiana State House.
Hint, hint.
So it's coming up here in just a little bit. But first, several big things we got to get to, and the first kind of thing is the when you're 95, you can't say it's the unexpected passing of anyone. However, the circumstances by which he passed are a bit perplexing to people. Gene Hackman.
Yeah, you're talking about how if you woke up this morning, you probably saw the news that the Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman died, but also his wife, and it was reported the dog as well. And they were found in their home in New Mexico, and it's been reported that no foul play was suspected. So right away, my mind goes to carbon monoxide poisoning or something along those lines.
You know, what was it? Weird Al Yankovic's parents had something similar to this several years ago. And that's like, because they have, first of all, he's 95 years old. So I don't mean to be crass, but when you're 95, you know, you got, right? There's more yesterdays than there are tomorrows. It's just a reality for all of us. It'll be the same for me, you, Kevin, whoever. Sure. But his wife was a relatively young person. She was, 63?
Yes, it was his second wife, and the dog too.
Yeah.
So that
and the dog was not 95.
Correct.
So but the fact that they said no foul play is expected, it certainly sounds like that is the most likely thing. Obviously, we'll hold any commentary until the full investigation comes out. But when you think about it, and look, he had become a relative recluse.
He pretty much retired when he was 74 years old. So for the past 20 years.
Right. And he was rarely seen out in public, not because he was some sort of, one foot in a grave and another foot on a banana peel. I just think he kind of enjoyed his privacy. And he had said by his mid-70s, I've accomplished everything there possibly is to accomplish in this business. I don't really like doing it anymore. And I don't kind of like the direction of the industry. And so I'm done. And you got to tip your hat to that case. I mean, the guy... He is one of the greatest actors of all time. You think about not only the movies that he did, but the longevity over which he provided, just phenomenal roles. I mean, you think about everything from The French Connection, which was the 70s, Hoosiers in the 1980s, obviously the Superman movies in the 70s and 80s. And, you think about even he was great. He was great in The Birdcage. Remember, he's the stuck-up conservative senator in the Birdcage whose family is marrying into the Robin Williams, Nathan Lane family.
Yes. Yeah.
And he has no idea what's going on throughout the whole thing. I mean, that was the 90s. So you want to talk about a career that just spanned many, many, many years, and it was all great.
Yeah, and I mean, think about, he did action and drama as well. Like, I think of him, I remember him in The Firm, where he played kind of that, I don't know, morally corrupt lawyer. But then he was also in Runaway Jury, which was more of a thriller. And then he was in Enemy of the State with Will Smith, which you could kind of say was a little bit more of a political thriller / action sort of movie.
And even, like we talked about decades, The Replacements, which is is it the level of The French Connection or Hoosiers? No, but I mean, it was a very popular movie. That was in the 2000s. So you want to talk about 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. I mean, that's 4 decades that he was putting out quality, commercially successful work. And you're right, Casey. He was one of those guys where if you said he was in the movie, it instantly gave it some sort of gravitas. Like, it may end up being a bad movie, but wow, Gene Hackman's in it. So,
well, I mean, think about this. He was in Unforgiven with Clint Eastwood, right?
Yeah.
And Gene Hackman wins the Oscar.
Right.
So you're like, oh, I'm going to be in this movie with Clint Eastwood. Okay, sure. And then he's the one who gets the award.
Yeah, so we'll obviously wait and see what the details are. It does sound like it was some sort of accident or like you said, it could be a carbon monoxide issue. Clearly, the fact that the wife passed away as well. And it was so weird to read that headline because you're like, no foul play is expected. Well, what happened to her? So I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, we did want to start off the show by mentioning that because he is... I mean, my goodness, he what of that generation of guys, it would be probably like Gene Hackman, Dustin Hoffman, as much as he's a political nut,
De
Niro's got to be, in there. Al Pacino, those four guys just sort of stand out as the tippy top of that. Those guys are in their 80s or 90s in the case of Hackman, and Clint Eastwood. Although I always thought Clint Eastwood was kind of more of a movie star than an actor. I didn't, he always played the same guy. It was always,
tough guy.
It was always the same guy, right?
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a lot of diversity. He was very good at it.
Well, Gene Hackman was very diverse because he played a lot of different roles. They say that the investigation is ongoing. The medical examiner reports are expected to take 4 to 6 weeks to determine the cause of death. But here in central Indiana, I think all of Indiana, when you think of Gene Hackman, you think of what? The coach, right?
Yeah, Norman Dale.
Norman Dale. Yeah.
Oh, there you are. I thought we'd go 20 minutes on, 10 off, and 20 on. I had a different schedule in mind. Look, mister, these boys got a routine they're used to. You throw a new coach with newfangled ideas at them, might get them all confused. And we'll ease into it real slow. Hell, our first game's less than 2 weeks away.
Well, first of all, let's be real friendly here, okay? My name is Norm. Secondly, your coaching days are over.
So Chelsea, is it Chelsea Ross? Is that the guy's name who plays George in Hoosiers, the coach that gets booted, and then he's obviously he was in Hoosiers, he was in Rudy, he was in Major League.
Yeah.
3 of the most famous sports movies of all time, and he always plays the same
jerk
guy. And then you ask, like, okay, what other movies was he in? You can't. I mean, there's no movies that stand out to me. What are the odds the dude would be in 3 of the most famous sports movies, have integral roles?
That's a good point.
And then what other role do you think of him in? Like, there's nothing. You think of him as either Harris in Major League, Dan Devine in Rudy, or the disgruntled ex-coach in Hoosiers.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, okay, well, there was another death that was announced yesterday as well, and that was that actress. What was her name? Michelle? I can't pronounce her last name.
Just take a shot at it.
Treckenberg?
Samsonite. I mean, yeah. I think you're close enough, Casey, for the good. Yeah, what is it? Trachtenberg. She was 39.
Trachtenberg.
So she was famous in like the early 2000s. She was in Gossip Girl, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
But the thing about her was, like, she is one of those people that you don't know her name, but if you saw her, you'd be like, oh yeah, I know her. Like, as soon, because I kept seeing these headlines, like, who is this person?
That? Right, and then
I
you saw a picture of her.
And I was like, oh, her. So she was 39. She'd apparently had some sort of liver issue, and she had been feuding with people on social media, apparently, over people had commented on her appearance, and then she got all lippy back with them, and then all of a sudden she passes away at a very, very young age, and no cause of death has been sort of released. Her mother apparently found her dead in bed, so I don't know if it was some lingering illness or what, but nothing has been positively stated yet.
Yeah. Okay, we've got a big announcement. Plus, yesterday, the governor of the great state of Indiana
That's right.
had some instruction for you.
You want to talk about that next?
Yes,
and then
I
we got this
do.
big announcement we got to get to as
yeah,
well.
we'll do that. It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
No matter where you head on your commute, Matt Bear is there. Paris.
Les Champs-Élysées sont un véritable parking ce matin.
Warsaw.
W drodze do pracy wyjdź trochę wcześniej.
Or Brazil.
Temos bisbilhotice no Rio de Janeiro. Não haja como turista.
Matt, these are all cities in Indiana.
Oh, that makes my job easier.
Making your commute easier. Matt Bear Traffic. Mornings and afternoons on 93 WIBC.
Pat Sullivan here with Michaela of Michaelis. If you have water damage, why should you call Michaelis?
Michaelis is a local family-owned Indianapolis company with 39 years experience. On call 24/7, 365. We are IICRC certified and will restore your space to pre-loss condition or better. And we work through the entire insurance process on your behalf to make it easy.
Water, storms, fire, and mold. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Text or call 844-FIX-INDY.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Pat Sullivan here for Hope Plumbing. Have you been dreaming of kitchen updates since the new year began? My friends at Hope Plumbing want you to love your plumbing. Update your faucets, fixtures, water heaters, and more with a $100 off a $500 plus plumbing service. Make your remodel dreams or small home update wishes come true and start to love your plumbing again. Call and schedule an appointment today at 317-641-HOPE or visit them online at hopeplumbing.com.
William is one of millions of Americans who uses GoodRx to save on the cost of their prescriptions.
My oldest daughter, Camilla, 2 days old, she had to have open heart surgery. All of a sudden, she's on 5 different medications. It adds up at the end of the month. Me and the pharmacist got so tight. She said, GoodRx save you a lot of money. Saving that extra $200-300 a month. We're able to do all these extra activities, so it puts less stress on our household, and it puts less stress on our pockets.
Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com and start saving today. GoodRx user compensated for their time. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance.
Get it almost every night, and when that moon gets so big and bright, it's super.
So I'm curious, did the governor direct you to enroll in anger management classes yesterday?
That was great. That was so. By the way, it's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob Casey's are coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we just go ahead and do it next segment?
Okay.
We'll have
after the news,
a big announcement coming up next segment, and you know, we kind of, when we put this thing together, we're going to tell you about. I really was watching a lot of Animal House, and there's a great line in the movie Animal House from D-Day, which says, "Don't get mad, get even."
Yeah.
And if you are a person who, look, in general, if you've been pissed off at the Republican Party the past 5 years, the lockdowns, the mask mandates, all of this stuff, like it's all been building up, and it's sort of just sort of all molded together in terms of you getting screwed on property taxes. We are going to have your opportunity. The Custer's last stand, if you will, of the fight on property taxes. And we're going to, this has been in the makings for several weeks now, and we'll be able to tell you about it coming up here in next segment. But yes, so Braun was on with Hammer and Nigel yesterday. He was talking about property taxes. Yes. And I thought one of the knocks on Braun is, he's kind of dry, right? Like he's not Mr.
He doesn't have that spunk, right?
Yeah, he's a very nice guy. Unlike Eric Holcomb, who comes off as a complete elitist a-hole. I've never thought that about Braun. He just, I don't know. I mean, he's just a dude, right?
Yep.
And that interview they did with him yesterday, and they
had a lot of personality.
Yeah, it was really well done. If you haven't heard it at noon, we don't care what you do during Tony Katz. Go back and listen to the interview, because it was great. And one of the things, Casey, they talked about, so yesterday on the show, we got on, I don't even know how I got on this, but we talked about realistically, what would an Indiana DOGE look like, and what would it look like if I were to agree to do it? Now, this is not some etched in stone legalese of how it would work, but I laid out a sort of high-level blueprint of how Indiana DOGE would actually work, and sort of some of the parameters that I'd put forth, where I said, look, you probably need a 10-person staff.
Yes.
I think I could fund that staff for a year for $2.5 million collectively for a 10-person staff. I would set a floor of $1 billion that my staff would find in savings, in waste, fraud, abuse, bad expenditures, whatever you want to call it, for Indiana taxpayers. I would hit a target. My target would be $2.3 billion, which is 5% of the state budget. And I believe, and I talked to one of my guys yesterday who would be the first person I would pick on this, and he said, without a doubt, you could hit 10%.
Yeah.
This is somebody who's been in state government forever. He knows it like the back of his hand. He would be the first guy I would pick. And so we were shooting the breeze back and forth. And he said, listen to
easy pickings, huh?
Oh, he said absolutely. So you find 10%, no problem. He said he thinks you could find 20 if you really tried. So that would be, what would that be? $4.7 billion. But and the rules for me to do this would be one. all the money would have to go back to the taxpayers that we find. I'm not doing any reallocation of resources. I'm not paying down anything else. All the money that we find would go back to the taxpayers. And we thought
in the form of a rebate.
It could be anywhere, depending on how much we actually find, between, we estimated, $333 to $600 could be the taxpayer refund that would go back into your pocket once we get done this. And come on, it's just waste, fraud, abuse, bad expenditures. Like, we're not
mismanagement.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
Anyway,
bad contracts.
I would agree, and again, this is not etched in stone. I have no idea how state employment requirements work, et cetera, but I would not take any money, and I would try to structure it to where any person working on this team would not get paid until we find the $1 billion. I'm convinced we could do it in a month, but we would allocate ourselves. You always under promise, over deliver, right?
Sure.
So we would not get paid until you get the savings, the taxpayer, and I think those are sort of the crux of it. You have nothing to lose. If we don't find it, we don't get paid. So I thought that was, so we wrote it all down.
Another one of your stipulations was that the legislature couldn't override savings.
Yeah. So
you can't veto the cuts.
I was talking with some people about this yesterday, like, how would we do this? Because they're like, that doesn't sound very constitutional to me. Well, what is Trump doing? It's the same thing Trump is doing. So it's the finding, the savings.
That's the one stipulation I don't know if Braun would agree with.
Well,
because he's turning the power over to you then.
Yeah, but he's Mr. Executive Order, man. So he could executive order whatever he wanted to executive order, right? I mean, what? Does he? No, I think Braun would be okay with that, because what? Braun will get all the credit when people get, $500 back.
Oh, yeah, you're going to let Braun take the credit.
Well, it's like Musk. Is Musk letting Trump take all the credit? I mean, there's rules. But, and again, I'm not saying this is the final blueprint. This is what I came up with. And if there's some rules, regulations.
This is the starting point of the negotiation.
Right, absolutely. And here's the part of all this so that everybody knows. I would find that money. Everybody knows I would find that money. Everybody knows there is so much waste going on in our government, and everybody knows it would be a relatively simple process to do. And I think that's why people have kind of got on board with this and are fired up about it, or we're telling Braun, tweeting at him, whatever, make this happen. Because for whatever you want to say about me, I'm really good at cutting government and giving people their money back. That's the two things I was really good at: cutting and reforming government and giving people their money back. So, Hammer and Nigel, we put it down on a sheet. Terry Stacy had a craft factory there in the back, so we put a nice little big star on it.
I did notice that you found a star.
Make it look official.
Yeah.
And then they presented this to Braun on the air. Do we have the audio of this?
We do.
Oh, would you like to play it?
He seemed open to the idea.
So earlier today, our colleague Rob Kendall from the Midday Show,
Reasonable
Kendall Casey, reasonable man. He used air quotes for those who couldn't see it. Joking. He wants to do Indiana DOGE, and he gave me this proposal written in Sharpie. Here, Governor.
A lot of detail there.
His target saving is $2.3 billion for the state of Indiana, with the floor saving being $1 billion.
Okay.
He tells me he needs a staff
Over
of 10.
what period of time?
I believe he said he could find this probably in a year.
Okay.
In a year. With a 10-person staff, all the money saved must be returned to the taxpayers. The DOGE staff agrees not to be paid until $1 billion is found. No overrides or veto cuts. Rob says he could find $1 billion in his sleep for the low price of $2.5 million, which he would not get paid until he found the money. Is this ridiculous?
Well, I think we'd have to agree to about three things.
Okay.
What commission he wants. He'd probably have to quit his day job.
Okay.
And I would really probably require some anger management training.
I don't think you're getting many of those off the checklist there, Governor. I just don't think that's going to happen.
I like some of those things that you just listed off there, but you might as well hand that to the governor so he can wad it up and throw it away in the trash.
He even put a shiny star on it here, Nigel.
Don't wad it up. I want to take that and put it, post it somewhere in my office.
Okay. All right.
There it is. I like constituents that actually have somewhat of a good idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. I stand corrected.
There it is.
Somewhat of a good idea.
Look, I mean, everybody knows it's a great idea, and everybody knows that we would find that money, and everybody knows nobody would miss it when it's gone. And bottom line is it would come down to Braun having the political, wanted to spend the political juice to bring me into that state house. Now, I don't know if he wants to do that. He probably doesn't. I'm sure he doesn't want to do it. Would he do it, though, would be the question. And look, it's a $47.5 billion budget for a state of 7 million people. We did the math. It's like $6,700 some odd dollars a person. It's a ridiculous, and that doesn't even include local taxes.
Right.
That's just your state taxes.
Yeah.
Think about all the money you pay to the local governments. Doesn't have anything to do with any of that. That's just the state tax. Everybody knows we'd find it. And I love the fact that people are kind of fired up about this.
I was surprised that he said it was somewhat of a good idea. It almost seemed like he was open to the idea. Now, I have done a little research. Indianapolis Counseling Center on North Illinois Street has anger management classes. So does Broad Ripple Counseling Center and New Hope Counseling. All in Indianapolis, close. The one thing, though, he did say you'd have to quit your day job.
Well, and this is the negotiation, right? Like, what does this look like? And, maybe we got to get Loop, David, and Dion in on this. Do I have a spot to come back to after my year? I mean, look, I do not want a career in the state government. I do not want to spend the rest of my days there. I don't need it on the perf retirement plan. I will go in there. I said I would
go on furlough for a year.
I said I would do this job for the best of my ability for the same salary. They were free to see my tax return. It's well within the salary structure that I've laid out for the 10-person team, which includes me. And I'm here and willing to discuss.
Ready to serve.
All right. When we come back, we will the big announcement that we've got for this show, and it's been several weeks in the making. And if you are a person who has been pissed off over the past couple of weeks, well, past couple of years, in fact, but certainly the past couple of weeks about how you have been ignored on property taxes, boy, howdy, do we have a plan for you.
It's Kendall Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. 800-659-7540. That's 800-659-7540.
If this is the year to build your custom dream home, Joyner Homes is ready to help make your dream come true. They offer the flexibility to build on your own lot, allowing you to build a home in the place you've always envisioned. A dedicated in-house team of experts will guide you through every step, offering unmatched personalization and flexibility. Joyner Homes provides clear and upfront pricing and floor plans to inspire you. There's no time like the present to get in touch with Joyner Homes to talk about your vision and learn more about their building process. Visit joynerhomes.com.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What to expect? 43 degrees here on Monument Circle. I'm Sasha Nixon. Here's what's trending at 9:30. Expect some windy days, says Greg Mello with the National Weather Service Indianapolis.
Tomorrow is the bigger concern for sure. As we head into tomorrow during the day, we're expecting wind gusts between 35 and 45 miles per hour, and we can't rule out slightly higher gusts than that.
He notes that there won't be any rain or snow in the forecast over the next few days, but if you live in or near Lebanon and need to make a trip to the BMV, you will have to go to the library instead. Earlier this month, the organization revealed that the Lebanon branch was having a facilities issue, so staff members had temporarily set up operations in the Heritage Center of the Lebanon Public Library. According to an update Wednesday, BMV staff are still working out of the library, and you can visit them Monday through Friday from 9:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., but you will only be able to pay for services with credit cards at this time. And now for your WIBC money update. It looks like the Dow is currently unchanged. The S&P is up 26 points to 5,997, and the NASDAQ is up 168 points to 21,358. Ooh, just another change in the Dow, up 11 points to 43,517. I'm Sasha Nixon, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 765-545-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Are you thinking this year I want to look and feel better and get my hair back? We Grow Hair Indy can help you do just that. I'm Rob, and I got my hair back at We Grow Hair Indy. Here's Darren Andrews, clinic director, to tell you why I chose them.
For nearly 20 years, we've helped thousands of clients grow their hair back, and we can help you. We're one of only 2 places in the entire country to offer the Artist Robotic FUE and multi-unit hair grafting.
I got multi-unit hair grafting. I love the results and cannot believe how much hair I got back. I can't recommend them enough. Call right now, 317-522-2995 for a free evaluation. Great technology, great company, great people, great results. Go to WeGrowHairIndy.com, see my results, and call 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Don't you want to say, I got my hair back?
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man. High five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Woo. Up top, bike shop.
Yeah. It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messethorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo.
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Look, they can shut our cameras down all they want. It's not stopping us from this announcement.
It's so weird because I wore something extremely low cut today, too.
Isn't that wild? We're like, hey, the big announcement's coming up, and then your camera goes out. But I'm still here.
That's true.
And as long as I'm still here...
we carry on!
It's the Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. All right, so it's announcement time.
Mm-hmm.
And look, one of the things that has become abundantly clear over the past several weeks, these lawmakers were inundated with correspondence from you saying, do your job, hold these local governments to account, and give us our money back and do something about these ridiculous property tax increases we've seen over the last 4 or 5 years here in the state of Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And though they knew what the right thing to do was, though they heard overwhelmingly from you, the people, these lawmakers, the senators, and we can't say anything bad about the House yet because they haven't done anything
yet.
Though we get, it's our guess they'll soon be following suit, but technically we can't say anything bad about them yet. They voted to screw you in defense of these local governments. And of course, it comes out, hey, a bunch of these guys like Scott Baldwin and Brett Clark, they have relationships. Either in the case of Baldwin, he's running it, or Clark, he's a consultant for these construction management companies who are making huge money off of these local government contracts, projects, which are predominantly paid for in many cases with property taxes. So they're voting to screw you. They're ignoring you. They're ignoring the emails. They're ignoring the phone calls. They're voting to screw you in defense of these local governments that are totally out of control. How many times have we been through all the projects that are going on in these communities that have nothing to do with, in terms of day-to-day existence. They're not roads. They're not bridges. They're not sidewalks. They're not water. It's not sewer. It's not police. It's not fire. It's not any of that stuff. It's grandiose. It's excess. And you're getting screwed so that stuff can continue. And then when you try to have a conversation with these people, you either can't get a hold of them, or if you do, it's, well, I'd be happy to have a conversation with you over the phone.
We can chat over the phone. By the way, you mentioned Brett Clark. He was overheard yesterday in the State House saying that you and I, Kendall and Casey, are a pain in the butt.
Oh.
However, he didn't say but. He said the other word. And yeah, that's right. We're going to remain a pain in the butt until we can get some relief for the taxpayers.
So the conversation then became for us, how do we have to bring the fight to them. You cannot expect these people to do the right thing because of these emails that people are getting. People are still sharing these emails that they're getting from these senators, and it's these canned emails, either from the supposedly from the senator, or sometimes they'll admit it's a legislative assistant or whatever, and it's just some detail about what happened with the bill. Who knows what'll happen next? Stick around. Could be. And it's insulting. These senators are insulting you. They're insulting your intelligence. They take you for a fool, and they think they will just continue to play you, and that they're going to get away with it because they don't have to look at you. They don't have to see you. They don't have to own it to your face what they've done to you, how they've screwed you to continue to prop up these out-of-control local governments. And so we said, what can we do about that? How can we not let them hide in the cloak of anonymity, essentially not having to be accountable to you because they can have some person send an email? Would they say it to your face? If they saw you in a hallway, would they have the guts to say the thing to your face that they've said in these emails? And so he said, well, what do we have at our disposal, being legal, law-abiding, peaceful people? What mechanisms are at our disposal in order to try to bring this battle and help Governor Braun, who is working very hard on our behalf, to help him and provide some firepower to him, and also give you the opportunity to voice your frustration over what's been going on the last 4 or 5 years in the state, and certainly what's been going on here the last month as we've all gotten screwed. And it turns out, Casey, you can get, I guess it's a permit, to have an event at the State House. Boy, howdy, I didn't even know how all that worked.
But we know people who do.
Yeah.
And it's been arranged.
Yes. So we have worked with the Office of the Lieutenant Governor, Micah Beckwith, and they have done a phenomenal job of putting all this together and getting all of the I's dotted and T's crossed and making sure that we're compliant with all of the rules and regulations necessary. And so on March the 17th at 1 p.m., March the 17th, 1 p.m., we are going to have a rally in the State House. That is St. Patrick's Day. And we're going to give you the opportunity with some great guest speakers to have your voice heard. And it is our goal to put 1,000 people in that State House, at least. We'd like to do more. But 1,000 people in the State House at 1 p.m. on March the 17th. And I want to make those walls shake in the State House to give you the opportunity so that you cannot be avoided. They have to hear you, and they may not respect you, but they're going to know you're there.
So it's a property tax relief rally, Monday, March 17th, 1 p.m. at the State House. For your house, we take it to the House.
Okay, so a couple of things. In addition to this, we have also arranged, we're going to broadcast the show live that day from 9 to noon outside of the governor's office. So we'll be there trying to, rally people to come to the event at 1 o'clock. And we've gotten all the my understanding, the permitting and everything that's necessary for that. The other thing is it is St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the angry red-shirted teachers have been so successful with their red shirts. We thought, well, what could we do?
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently if you just wear a colored shirt, that's really the way to go. So when you come down on the 17th, we want you to wear green.
Yeah.
No, because you want your money back.
That's it.
The angry green-shirted taxpayer, right? Hopefully it'll be as effective as the angry red-shirted. So look, I know this is going to require some people to have to maneuver their, doings of the day around. But if you don't show up for this, then you can't. This is your opportunity to be heard. If you're pissed off about what's happened to you, we're doing the legwork on this. All you've got to do is show up, be loud, be peaceful, and have a good time.
Yeah.
We'll be, Hammer's going to MC the event. He's already signed on board to do that. Maybe Nigel will be there with him as well. Micah's going to speak. We're going to try to get some another really special guest speaker or two. We're going to be there, bringing it home, closing the event.
We'll be broadcasting live before the event to get you charged up, and we're going to need more than luck. Yes. On St. Patrick's Day. We're going to need you to show up in your green shirt, letting them know we want our pot of gold back.
Yeah, this is your opportunity to be heard. You will be heard. And I want, in my mind, I envision what 1,000 people would look like in that State House, and it would be one of the greatest events to ever happen in the history of that building. And you want media attention, you'll get it. You want exposure, you'll get it. You want your voice to be heard, you'll get it. All the things you're not getting right now that you're pissed off about, if you can give us 1 hour of your day on March the 17th at 1 p.m. at the State House, it's really going to be fun. We'll make it worth your time.
Let's be honest, you were going to take off early that day anyway because it was St. Patrick's Day.
That's right. So we're going to try to get some sort of digital thing going on this, but we want you to start telling people. Mm-hmm. March the 17th, 1 p.m., Indiana State House. Wear your green shirts. We're going to be loud. We're going to make some noise. We're going to try to make a difference, and we need you to be a part of it that day if you can be a part of it.
Yep. So there it is. There's your big announcement. Property tax relief rally Monday, March 17th, 1 p.m. at the State House. Wear your green shirt.
And you got to start telling people about this, right? You can't just depend on the radio station. We got a big reach, but you got to tell people. You got to bring people, even if it's a little bit of a drive. Look at the crap you've been going through the past several weeks, being ignored, being insulted. Look at you send these guys emails and you get some canned response or some response telling you Rob Kendall's a bad guy. This is your chance. We're doing all the legwork. All you got to do is show up.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, will we see the Epstein list and the death of Gene Hackman and a very interesting place it took me? That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Hey, Hammer and Nigel here for Window Nation. Valentine's Day is behind us, and Groundhog's Day and President's Day are in the rear view, but there's still time to take advantage of Window Nation's amazing offer. Save 60% on all window styles and pay nothing for 2 years, only at Window Nation now through the end of February to save big on some of the best windows you could buy.
To get windows that will protect your home and family for decades, get a quote on the windows that are going to stop the drafts, stop the leaks, and save you money on your utility bills every month. Save 60%, 60% on all window styles and pay nothing for 2 years. Hurry, this offer ends February 28th. Schedule that free in-home consultation by calling Window Nation at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. 866-90-NATION, windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIBC.com.
Well, it seems like people are very fired up, Casey.
Yeah, what are you seeing?
Well, a lot of people are already, they're crossing off 1 o'clock, March the 17th on their calendars. You just missed the last segment. We'll remind you throughout the course of the day today.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be our property tax rally at the Indiana General Assembly. We're going to broadcast live from the State House that day, 9 until noon. And then 1 o'clock, we're going to have the big rally. The Lieutenant Governor's office has been organizing all of this, doing a phenomenal job doing the legwork. And now it is our job to step up and get the people there. We're asking you to wear your green shirt in honor of St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm.
And
you'd be wearing green anyway, right?
And look, I mean, it was quite, Casey actually, when we were kicking around the idea of this, just some behind-the-scenes baseball on this, we were like, what do we do? How do we do it? And then Casey was actually the one who said, why don't we do it on St. Patrick's Day? People can wear green because they want their money back.
Yeah.
That's great that you get the credit for that.
Thanks.
And think about this. It's also brilliant on your part because how many people are going to be downtown anyway? You know, you get done.
Everybody wearing green is on board with this.
You get done bitching at the lawmakers, then you just head over to your favorite watering hole. I think maybe Hammer and Nigel are having some live broadcast somewhere that day. I thought maybe I'd heard. We'll ask him about that when he comes in. So you're going to be down there anyway. Just give us an hour of your time.
Right. Just stop by.
Tell these guys what you think of them. Get loud. Behave yourself. But make a lot of noise. And then we'll all go about our merry day. But boy, it's going to be great. And people are crossing off the thing on their calendar and already making plans.
Yep. So that is the Property Tax Relief Rally, Monday, March 17th, 1 p.m. at the State House. We're asking you to wear green, and we'll be there, Kendall and Casey, broadcasting live before the rally from the State House. It was checked recently. There are power outlets in the hallway by the pig.
Okay.
By the pig.
So you can come if you want to come early. You can come watch the show. We'll be there hanging out, having a good time. We have to check. I think you can bring signs in the State House. You allowed to bring signs in? I think you can bring a sign. We'll have to get clarification on that. I was going to say something about the best sign, but let me make sure you can actually, I think you can bring a sign in. I've seen them before. I know I've seen them before. But somebody was like, what if we run out of space? You know what the most awesome thing in the world would be?
If we ran out of space
overflow,
and it spilled out into the street?
Into the street. Look, 1,000 people is our goal. And in a state of 7 million people, at least, a couple million of them getting screwed on their property taxes, that's a pretty reasonable expectation. Because if you put 1,000 people in that state house, you will make those walls shake. And I can assure you,
that high ceiling in the dome, it'll echo nicely.
It'd be great. It'd be one of the coolest things that's ever happened there. And all those people in green, and it's gonna be. Oh, we can bring signs in. Yes, I was told. So,
okay.
This is how on it the Lieutenant Governor's staff is. Immediately texting, and it wasn't even your husband. No. It's another one of the fine people who remain nameless. We don't want them tarred and feathered, but they said yes. So here's what I think what we'll do. The person who brings the most creative sign, the best. Now it's got to be appropriate, right? It can't be something that's going to be vile or bad. I think maybe the best sign, we'll let them come in and watch a live taping of
live show.
recording, broadcasting. We're not recording. Well, we are recording, but we're doing it. A live episode of the Kendall and Casey show.
Yeah.
Whoever has the best sign.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
I mean, I'm really envisioning, like, you think of St. Patrick's Day and people do it up with the green or the beads and hats or whatever. Like, get into it. let's have some fun, but let them know we're serious about this.
Yeah, we didn't want to do something where you're going to be bored, and that's why, Micah will be there bringing the heat. Hammer's going to MC. You know how great that'll be. And then we'll, in my mind, I don't know exactly the order yet, but Case and I will kind of close it down for everybody, and we'll send them out with a hoorah, and then you can go just have yourself a great St. Patrick's Day.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
How about
it's
that?
going to be a good deal. So that's Monday.
And we look forward to
March 17th.
Seeing all the people at the State House. I'm sure they're very excited to see us there.
Okay, so the
Session's been canceled.
Right. It's too loud. So the White House has directed federal agencies to prepare for large-scale layoffs.
Oh.
Did you hear about this? This came from the OMB, the Office of Management and Budget, and also the Office of Personal Management. The agencies have to submit their Phase 1 agency RIF, reduction in force.
That's what it's called, a RIF? RIF?
Yeah, they got to do that by March 13th.
Okay, so they've got to get. Is this DOGE? Who are they giving this to? They've got to present it to someone, right? Like, here's what I'm doing. Is that right?
Yep.
And then it happens, or they take it under advisement. When do the people?
The White House directed the different agencies to submit this.
Okay. Now, one of the things I think that we need to talk a little bit about with this, because people are all up in a kind of a. What's the word I'm looking for here? They're very excited about the idea of all these federal workers getting laid off. And I think it's important to remind people there are some really good people who work in the federal government. And there are some really hardworking people and people who dedicate their lives to this country. And those people, every so often, I think have been lost in the shuffle of this. The idea of, like, not every person who works for the federal government is some lazy bum just sucking off the taxpayer.
Grifton, sure. No, there are definitely well-intentioned people.
Right. And so the challenge is going to be, because somebody said this yesterday, Musk is coming in with the machete. And to a lot of people, that's a really good thing. But there are probably some agencies and parts of some agencies that need a scalpel more than a machete. And so that's sort of the challenge, is going to be finding the do-nothings, finding the people who aren't pulling their weight, finding the people who are grifting off the taxpayers, getting people whose jobs don't need to exist, and making sure that that is rectified. But yet, I think any person would recognize, in a country of 330 million people, it is reasonable to have some form of federal government that does, certain things, right? So that's something we all got to keep in mind. And I know many people who work for the federal government, and they're fine, upstanding citizens and do great work on behalf of the country. So I wanted to put that out there, that in the frenzy, that was the word I was looking, the frenzy of Musk and DOGE and Trump reformism, just keep in mind there are people out there who are good people, and they're caught up in this too, and keep them in your prayers.
So there are certain groups, including postal workers, military personnel, and positions that they claim critical for national security and also law enforcement and public safety. They are going to be exempt from the cuts. But yesterday, Donald Trump had his first cabinet meeting, and Elon Musk was there, and Donald Trump was talking about DOGE, and he was saying that it is very important.
They're very much behind it. Letters were sent out to people just to find out if the people exist. Do they work? Who do they work for? Where are they? Where have they been working? Have they been working for other companies or other entities at all? Being paid by the government, so they have two jobs, but they're supposed to have one. And the letter asks some simple questions like, what have you done lately? And if they can answer that, because I can tell you everything I've done for the last long period of time, a lot more than a week. And in many cases, we haven't gotten responses. Usually that means that maybe that person doesn't exist, or that person doesn't want to say they're working for another company while being paid by the United States government. So there's a lot of interesting things. It's very unique, but we have a very unique situation because we have a lot of people that were scamming our country. We have a lot of dishonest people. We have a lot of people that took advantage of a lot of different situations, and we're not going to let that happen.
So yesterday, Tulsi Gabbard, who's the director of national intelligence, she announced that there were going to be over 100 intelligence officers who were going to be let go. And that had nothing to do with a RIF or a downsizing. That's because they were participating in explicit discussions on agency chat rooms.
You know, and one of the things that's not being talked about, and I actually have a friend who posted about this yesterday, who is a really interesting guy, and he had the premise of this is, one of the things that's not being talked about is how much of this can be solved through attrition. And if you're willing to say, hey, when these people leave, because people do leave over time or retirements or whatever, if you simply weren't filling a lot of these positions as they're being eliminated, you couldn't do this with everyone. Some of them are certainly necessary. But you could probably solve, if you're willing to say, hey, we got a 10-year plan on this versus, you know, we're going to try to do this in 1 or 2 years. A lot of this could probably be solved over time as well. So I think that's a big part of this is what's the plan? Okay, what is the actual plan and how you're going to accomplish this? Because they're certainly getting fight and pushback, and the legal system is obviously now being gummed up with lawsuits, et cetera. Some will go your way, some won't go your way. Some will end up, you know, obviously now they've had to do this one ruling that the Supreme Court, you know, stayed a lower court ruling that'll allow Trump to cut off the U.S. aid stuff. I mean, point of all this is there has to be a plan outside of, hey, the short-term thing, because what if some of these rulings don't go your way in a court of law?
Yeah. So Donald Trump, he had his first cabinet meeting, started it off with a prayer, and it was attended by Elon Musk, who was wearing a T-shirt. And he also had, the entire cabinet there. And a couple things were brought up during that cabinet meeting, and we're going to get into that coming up. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Whether you're preparing for retirement, navigating a life transition, or simply wondering if you're on the right path, Howard Bailey Financial is here to help. Together, we'll work on a personalized plan designed to bring greater clarity to your goals and help you approach decisions with confidence. It's not just about numbers, it's about the life you want to lead and the legacy you want to leave behind. With over 20 years of experience, Howard Bailey Financial has been dedicated to guiding individuals as they work toward taking control of their financial future and finding peace of mind. Text PATH to 888-262-1104 to download a free retirement toolkit and start planning for the retirement you've dreamed of. Howard Bailey Financial, helping you turn hope into a plan and dreams into reality. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Come on, Indy. Don't use the spring to paint your house year after year. Do what Deanna did. She called Rhino Shield.
I was noticing some cracks and the paint's faded. I was like, okay, I think I should get my house painted. So my neighbor had a Rhino Shield placard in the yard. And after they were finished, I was just, wow. With the warranty and everything, it just seemed silly not to go that route.
The ceramic coating of Rhino Shield is specifically formulated for our climate.
So the Rhino Shield crew came out. Nothing was damaged in the process. I was very happy. They just didn't leave a mess. You couldn't even tell they were there. And the house looked so different. It just looked like a new home.
Backed by a 25-year transferable warranty. And now get the protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
Rhino Shield, I think it increases the value and the curb appeal of your home. Definitely worth it.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Cold weather brings hot savings at Tom Roush Lincoln. Select 2024 Lincoln Navigators now $12,000 off and get 0% for 72 months. How about an all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus now $6,000 off with rates starting at 4.9% for 60 months. So get in on those hot savings at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Lincoln Navigator MSRP 104,825. Lincoln Nautilus MSRP 61,695. Offers good through February 28, 2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-939-1331. 800-939-1331. 800-939-1331.
finding no fault, what he wants, and hosting the Combine. I'm Sasha Nixon. You've got all of that and more coming up from the Technology Recycler Studios after Fox News at 10 o'clock. You're listening to 93 WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's currently 9:59 and 43 degrees and fairly sunny here on Monument Circle. Again, you've got your news coming up in just 2 minutes right after Fox News.
We're back to work, but not for long. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Staffers being let go in the big cutbacks at the U.S. Agency for International Development allowed in this morning to box up their stuff and leave as President Trump staves off a legal challenge.
The Supreme Court pausing a federal judge's order that requires the Trump administration to pay foreign aid funds to contractors and grant recipients after the administration put USAID grants on hold. Chief Justice John Roberts didn't give a reason for the order, but it should give the court more time to deliberate.
That's Fox's Ryan Schmelz. A trade war between the U.S. and our neighbors to the north and south back on after being delayed a month. President Trump posted on Truth Social this morning he plans to impose tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada next Tuesday, 25% on most goods, and he'll double the 10% tariff on China, writing illicit drugs like fentanyl keep flowing into the U.S. at unacceptable levels. In a few hours, the president will meet with Britain's prime minister. The day before Ukraine's leader goes to the White House, U.S. Special Middle East Envoy Steve Witkoff tells Fox.
I think it's a good sign that President Zelensky will be here tomorrow. The president is eager to get this behind us and move on to get a peace deal done between Ukraine and Russia.
Zelensky will also sign an agreement letting the U.S. share profits from Ukraine's natural resources. In Gaza, Hamas handed over the bodies of 4 more Israeli hostages who died in captivity. Israel says most of them were murdered. We're still waiting for an update on Gene Hackman's death. The 95-year-old actor and his wife were found dead yesterday, and Fox's Jonathan Hunt reports they were
discovered at their home northeast of Santa Fe, New Mexico, alongside their dog. The Santa Fe County Sheriff confirmed the deaths and said his office is investigating, but there's no indication of foul play in the death of the Hollywood legend.
All right, Popeye's here. Get your hands on your heads. Get off the bar and get on the wall.
Hackman won a Best Actor Oscar for that role in French Connection. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What he wants. 43 degrees here on Monument Circle. I'm Sasha Nixon. Here's what's trending at 10:02. One of Indiana's senators is advocating for better communication when it comes to storm warnings. Harrison Silcox reports.
You've probably heard the warnings before when the weather gets bad. Your Senator Todd Young's now co-sponsoring a bill that would give you more of a heads up if something like a tornado is headed your way.
There are many things that our government does that people don't like and think they should stay out of, but protecting local communities from inbound tornadoes is certainly something that I think everyone would agree is a proper role of government.
Young tells Wish TV he's been sponsoring this type of legislation since the 2012 Henryville tornado and has yet to receive a hearing. Harrison Silcox, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
City officials are releasing more information about the recent deaths of animals at a petting zoo in Frankfort. Dozens of animals have died since last summer at Frankfort TPA Park Aviary and Petting Zoo. A team of veterinarians conducted the examinations, showing that each animal suffered from a variety of illnesses, which could be attributed to age, general infection, or other natural causes. There was no evidence of contagious diseases, bacterial infections, or bird flu, and there was also no evidence of foul play or neglect on the part of park staff. The NFL Combine is kicking off at Lucas Oil Stadium today. College football players will have 4 days to undergo testing in front of NFL scouts, coaches, and managers. Fans will be able to sit in the stands for free. They can also watch the NFL Combine in the stadium south lot or test their athletic skills with a 40-yard dash, vertical jump, bench press, and obstacle course. I'm Sasha Nixon, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You wake up feeling like you just boxed 12 rounds. Some wake up sweating with sore jaws, headaches, and a lot of our patients complain of brain fog. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and these signs, often joined with snoring, are sleep apnea symptoms. And if this sounds like you may have been in a struggle last night between you and this serious disorder. Many people aren't willing to fight back. But the fact is, you can't go through these nightly struggles without ramifications that each night chip away at your life's expiration date. I get it. You don't want to wear a CPAP mask. You may find out you don't need one. We have every effective sleep apnea solution available. And believe me, the mask is the last resort.
It's time to take action to stop your sleep struggle. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Thursday, February 27th. It is 5 minutes after 10. It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC. Now we...
Whoa.
What?
Ooh, I mean, I'm amazed at all the people that are already like, I'm taking March the 17th off, baby.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if you missed it earlier, we had the big announcement. So let's remind everybody who wasn't here.
Well, first of all, I think it's pretty selfish. You now have two cameras on yourself. You've taken my camera, and now you have both of them. So
that's not true.
This may be the best time ever for you to watch us on the YouTube feed.
Are they both working?
Well, I don't know.
I thought just one was working.
There's only one working.
There's only one working.
Only one.
So Casey, in a fit of rage, broke her camera earlier today.
So full of it.
Then, I had to go on by myself, and I was like, well, people are going to look at one of us, and they'd much rather look at you than me. So now we flipped that camera over to you. So this is the perfect time for you to watch the Kendall and Casey show on YouTube. Just put Kendall and Casey there in your search bar and it'll pull up.
Yeah.
Because now you can see
just
Casey. You'll hear me, but you don't have to see me. So it's really a great deal for all of you people.
Yeah.
All right. So, yes, the big announcement, March the 17th, 1 p.m. at the Indiana State House, inside the Indiana State House.
Yeah.
We are having the property tax rally, Casey.
Yeah. So for your house, we're going to take it to the House. And that can mean a few things. Take it to the House, meaning the State House, and also take it to the House, meaning the House of Representatives, because that's where SB1 is going now.
Now, our goal, we've set a lofty goal for this, is 1,000 people inside the State House. I want to make the walls literally shake. And look, this is the Custer's last stand of the property tax fight. If you're a person who has been pissed off at how these lawmakers have treated you, if you're pissed off about the last 4 years with your property taxes, but especially how you've been ignored and how they've treated you like little children and you've been pushed aside, all we're asking is for like 1 hour of your time. And you're going to have fun.
Right.
All we want you to do is we want you to wear green. You can bring a sign. We're going to make this fun. This is not going to be some dusty, tired, boring thing. Hammer's going to be emceeing it. Case and I will be speaking. Mike is going to speak. We're going to have probably some other couple guest speakers. This will not be long. It won't be boring. We're going to get in there. We're going to make some noise. We're going to prove a point. We're going to get out, and then you can go drinking or whatever else you're going to do on St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, whatever it is that you do. So, yeah, wear your St. Patrick's Day attire. Wear green, because at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get some of your money back to you.
And if you put 1,000 people, now more would be phenomenal. And 1,000 people in a state of 7 million people is not all that many people, especially all the people who have been screwed about property taxes. You put 1,000 people in that State House, a very, 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 now they can do whatever they want to do, but a very clear message will be sent with that. Plus, it's St. Patrick's Day. Downtown's where it's all happening anyway. So all we're asking is you just come over for an hour, just make some noise, wear your green. Maybe you and your drinking buddies head on. Maybe you have a few beverages before you come on over. Behave yourselves, right? We want everybody to be above board and behave in a professional, business-like manner. But we're gonna make some noise and tell your friends. You got to bring people. We got to bring people with you. Casey and I'll be broadcasting from 9 to noon. You can come watch the show if you want. We'll be outside Micah's office,
right there by the pig,
and then we'll get the festivities going at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, because we're gonna need more than luck on St. Patrick's Day. We need your voice. We need you to engage. We need you to be there. This is for you.
Yeah.
You want some relief? Let them know in person. Show up. Be there.
And I do want to mention all the hard work that the Lieutenant Governor's office, because they're the ones who logistically have made this happen. I was like, we should have a rally. And then I was like,
how do we do that?
How do I do that? Look, I'm not in the event planning business, Casey. I'm in the announcing the event business. And they have taken the lead on this. And Aaron and Jim and all the people over there have just worked very, very hard to get all the I's dotted, T's crossed, and to make this happen for you. So, like, there are so many people that are working on Braun's team and Micah's team who really do care about the property tax issue. And Micah, obviously, he ran on this, and he's, directed his staff, hey, make this happen for these guys. Get this done. Let's get all of this so we have the people have opportunity to have their voice.
Well, it's obvious they're not taking our emails and phone calls serious because what do? They just, filed that away. Okay, thanks. You want to talk about this? Call me.
Right.
Okay, well, no. Now we're showing up. So it is the Property Tax Relief Rally, Monday, March 17th. Yes, that is St. Patrick's Day, 1 p.m. inside the State House. You wear green.
And, okay, we'll obviously be announcing this many, many times. It'll be 2 weeks from Monday, so we'll get this out a whole bunch. I'm going to have my wife put together some sort of online, I don't know.
Digital banner, something or another.
I was like last night.
I tried doing that last night with Grok, and it I don't know, it turned out a little weird.
Well, she's really good at all this stuff.
Right.
And so last night I was like, I need a favor from you. And she goes, oh, okay.
You want me to have another baby? What?
She knows soon I might be asking her for that. But she was like, what do you need? And I told her, and she just kind of stared at me. And I said, it's for a good cause. Mm-hmm. My problem with my wife is she's a perfectionist.
Yeah.
And everything she does, she does it. And then there's some little speck somewhere that nobody will see or notice. It's good enough. And then she goes, "Rrr!"
Right. No, it's got to be absolutely perfect. I tried making something last night. I said, Indiana State House and put a shamrock in front. And it, I don't know, it was giving me some, not the Indiana State House. I'm like, no, people are going to know. We can't use that. It's got to be the real deal.
Yeah. So I hand things over to other people and say, you do it, and then I'll tell everybody about it, and we'll get it all done. So March 17th, 1 p.m., mark that down on your calendars.
Yes. Okay, so we've got Nikki Kelly, who's going to join us from Indiana Capitol Chronicle coming up. But yesterday, Donald Trump held his first cabinet meeting of his second term. Elon Musk was there, and he took a big role. They were discussing efforts to reduce the size of government. Also, they highlighted the need for cuts, and Trump was talking about the email and the bullet points and how many of the federal employees failed to respond and that they're living in a bubble. But something else was brought up, and this was from Pete Hegseth. And during that cabinet meeting, he announced that there's going to be a full investigation into the botched Afghanistan withdrawal.
Well, it's a question we've thought a lot about. We're doing a complete review of every single aspect of what happened with the botched withdrawal of Afghanistan and plan to have full accountability. It's one of the first things we announced at the Defense Department for that reason, sir. Certainly, General Raisin Kane, who's on his way in, was not a part of that. Instead, was a part of leading the effort against ISIS by untying the hands of warfighters and finishing the job properly and then bringing our troops home. So we're taking a very different view, obviously, than the previous administration, and there will be full accountability.
I don't see big promotions in that group, and I think they're going to be largely gone. I know the man on my left. I think they're going to be largely gone. That was a horrible display, and I've dealt with the parents and the family of the 13 that were killed, but nobody ever talks about the 40 that were so badly hurt with the arms and the legs and the face and the whole thing, the missing arms and legs. It was so terrible the way that was handled.
Another thing that they talked about, Trump indicated the U.S. won't provide any security guarantees to Ukraine. Zelensky expected to visit Washington, D.C. tomorrow. Trump said they're going to place all the responsibility on Europe and referred to the U.S. investment in Ukraine as a form of security. Something else that was brought up was that Anna Paulina Luna, she sent the Department of Justice a request for...
She's a congresswoman from Florida.
Yeah, she requested the declassification of the Epstein and JFK files.
Wasn't that supposed to happen today?
Well, Pam Bondi was on with Jesse Waters last night, and she said that they were going to release some of the files today.
Yeah, it's today. Have the files been released?
Not that I've seen, but I'm preparing to be underwhelmed.
Oh, no, you'll totally be underwhelmed. It always is this way, whether it's the JFK stuff or you always hear some big thing that's going to come out and it never gives you much of anything. All right, Nikki Kelly's going to join us next. The Capitol Chronicle did this phenomenal deep dive on just how much public money has been spent through the Indiana Economic Development Corporation on the Leap District, this tech mega plaza that really hasn't produced much in terms of results. So we're going to talk about how long it took them to get that information and how hard it is to get information on this group that's funded this project that's funded by public money because they just don't want to give it up. And
Right.
because they're run through the IEDC, which is a quote-unquote quasi-government organization, they don't have to.
Yeah, we'll talk to her coming up next on 93 WIBC.
In purgatory, tortured souls lie trapped somewhere between heaven and you know where. This is where we find ourselves, trapped somewhere between winter and spring, tortured by strange weather patterns.
As the weather worsens,
Cold, snow, and ice.
These temperatures.
Then thaw, rain, and flood. Let us be your guide through all stages of
spring,
winter, your severe winter,
spring,
and spring weather station. 93 WIBC.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-939-1331. 800-939-1331. 800-939-1331.
Running a business is tough. There are platforms to juggle, channels to grow, and connections to build. Success is not solo. It's built in your community, through every connection and every customer. And we're here to help you thrive, faster, smarter, and stronger. With tools that simplify the chaos, data that delivers real insights, and expertise built for businesses like yours, we're ready for the challenge. Visit successeslocal.com today to start your free trial. That's successeslocal.com. Let's conquer local together.
Bands are us when dreams sunk in. Bands are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 765-545-BATH.
Bands are us when dreams sunk in. Bands are us.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
Health gives you the ability to love more, feel more, be more. Health gives you the ability to live an extraordinary life. Because every day, no matter the challenges, is a chance to breathe, laugh until your belly aches, cry because you care so much, and experience everything that makes your life truly extraordinary. For 150 years, Franciscan Health has been there, watching extraordinary lives unfold. Love your extraordinary life.
Good night, you moonlight ladies. Rockabye, sweet baby Jane.
So it's halftime at the General Assembly. Things kickstart again next week. Let's find out what might happen. And to do that, we go to one of the best in the business. By the way, it's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. Joining us now on the WIBC hotline, Nikki Kelly from the Indiana Capital Chronicle. Nikki Kelly, hello.
Hello. Good morning.
So before we get to General Assembly, you guys, and we talked about this at length the other day, you guys did a phenomenal job. You worked in kind of collaboration with some other folks over the Indiana Capital Chronicle on the Leap District and just how hard it is to get any information about what's going on with Leap. First of all, before we get into how hard it is to get information, can you kind of reset for our audience what the Leap District is and kind of how it works?
Leap is basically think of a technology park by you on steroids. It's going to be this massive innovation park where they're hoping to draw, I'm talking not just your average business, but massive data chip centers and things like that.
And it is funded through the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, which is this quasi-government entity. And Nikki, you can expand on this. They don't play by the same transparency requirements that everybody else does.
Yeah, they have some limitations. They can hold back stuff on deals and working with businesses and, because they don't want to, threaten them closing a deal. But it makes tracking what they do very hard. And so we worked with the Arnold Center for Investigative Journalism down at IU. We've worked with their students on a couple things. And there's no single place where you can go just to see everything about LEAP because it involves other agencies too. And so a $10 million contract here, a $20 million contract there, and, suddenly you have big money. And so we wanted to try to do an all-encompassing look at where the Leap Park is at. And one of the things we asked for was a budget. And they said, no, you're not getting it because it's proprietary. So it's a secret budget, on this already billion-dollar, park. The big money is buying the land, but it's everything. It's putting in utilities. It's putting in roads, things like that.
Yeah, and I think that's there are many things, whether you agree or disagree with the premise of the thing, it's that we don't know where our money's going. And then when you ask, you say, hey, look, I'd just like to know how my money gets spent. They tell you guys, you guys can kiss off. You don't get that information.
I mean, they don't say it like that, but some stuff has gone through the state budget committee, so that was a little more. And to be fair, they have gotten a little more transparent after, a couple of years ago when it kind of all came out. They've improved. But like I said, there should be a webpage that has every contract listed and not just with IEDC. And that's the problem. Like some of these contracts are through the finance authority. Some of them are through, with the state budget committee. It's kind of all over. Some of them are with citizens with bringing water. So it's just such a massive undertaking that we wanted to try to put it in perspective.
What was interesting to me about this article is sort of the lackadaisical attitude. Some of these lawmakers you talk to are just like, kind of is what it is, and that's okay. And it was like, you guys are supposed to be the oversight, and they don't seem to be all that upset about the fact that the public can't get information on how their money's being spent.
Yeah, they're pretty supportive. Republicans are pretty supportive. And I think that's probably because some of them know more information. They've signed NDAs, and the IEDC has let them in on some information that the general public isn't allowed to know. I'm sure they know who's being courted for some of the sites. Right now, it only has Lilly. That's the only signed contract. And by the Lilly investment is massive. This is was theorized to be like an 10,000 acre site. And now I think they've used under 1,000. So, they scooped up land from people. They overpaid on prices above their assessed value, and people want to know what's going to happen to it.
Yeah, and by the way, the article's great. Everybody should go over to Indiana Capitol Chronicle and read it. We could spend the whole show actually talking about this article. Tell our audience, because you guys pieced together kind of about $985 million in expenses for the Leap District. Can you talk about how long it took and how you guys were able to kind of piece all of this together?
Yeah, it was a 6-month thing. Now, obviously, we were doing our regular job, so it's not like we spent 6 months solely on one project. But it took about 6 months, and a lot of it was weeding through and trying to find contracts. They'll say, it's on the transparency portal, but if you don't know what to put into search, then you can't find, the contract. So if you don't know the name of the company that was hired to put the sidewalks in, how do you search for it?
Right. There's not this thing and then all the stuff inside of this thing. You got to know.
Right.
You got to know. Yeah, right. Nikki Kelly's our guest from the Indiana Capitol Chronicle. One more question on this. There's some bills dealing with transparency and IEDC. Is anything that's in front of the General Assembly going to fix this?
I think there are definitely positive moves. One of them would require the IEDC to let local government know anytime they're buying more than 100 acres of land in an area. One requires some really detailed reporting on these innovation districts, which is what LEAP is. They're very helpful. We're past fixing it. LEAP is here, and
right.
It's going to happen. So,
do you have any idea what made Buchanan author that bill?
Well, I think he's just heard a lot from the community. I live in Lebanon too, and so I think he's heard a lot from the community about. I think they were buying up land, from people. It wasn't like the state of Indiana came to you; it was a broker would say, I want your land. And so, there was quite a lot bought up before anyone put together what was happening. And so I think that's an example of he's just heard a lot from his constituents who don't like how it happened. And trying to just get a little bit of oversight, like not stop it, not prevent it, but oversight.
Okay, halftime at the State House. Braun had the big press conference. We found it fascinating because it's like, oh, there's all these things that are great, and we're doing this, and this executive order, and this bill's moving forward. Yet his signature issue is completely up in limbo. What did you guys take away from the, which is to be the property tax bill? What did you guys take away from the press conference the other day?
Yeah, I mean, the fact is that the majority of his agenda is moving perfectly forward and no issues. And so, you know, he wanted to point out to more, I think, to highlight some things that are moving that maybe are getting lost in the shuffle, while also putting additional pressure on the one that is struggling a bit, which is the property tax reform. And so I think he did exactly what he wanted with that. He was very lively and pointed, and, man, he had some great quotes. And so, yeah, I think it was a good mix of here's all our stuff that's moving, and yet we really are disappointed in this one, and we're going to try to put pressure on it.
He seems very confident it's all going to work out. I'm not a fraction as confident as he is. Did you get that feeling that he was kind of like, oh, it'll be fine, don't worry, it'll all work out in the end?
Yeah, maybe he's had some conversations with the House. I don't know. I'm sure they're starting to have those. I personally, Todd Houston has focused so much on the budget the first half. I don't really know where the House is at and how far they're willing to go. So that'll be fascinating to see kind of what changes they make to the bill. I get why he's confident. To me, there is a lot of middle ground there. Like, the bill did cut $1.2 billion in the first year. Now it's down to $300 million limited growth. So there is a lot of daylight in between there, right? Like, they just got to pick a number and make it happen.
Okay, so real quick, speaking of Todd Houston, do you guys understand what he's doing with this, like, committee to explore, I guess you'd call him annexing, Illinois counties into Indiana? I mean, this is never happening. And, like, for the speaker to make this his thing, this is not some guy from Petersburg. I'm not trying to pick on Petersburg, but like some no-name rep that put this forward. This is the speaker, and he seems to be putting all his political weight behind this thing that is never happening. Have you guys gotten any scuttlebutt on the ground about why they're doing this?
Well, first of all, he's not putting any political weight behind it. It's just a basic committee bill. It creates a committee. So it's not like he's happened to twist arms. It doesn't do anything, and I think everyone knows that it's never going to happen. And I think he wanted to do it specifically to draw attention. It's a vehicle to give Indiana attention about how great things are here. That's all it is. And so he's playing it up. He's getting national, op-eds about it. So he's getting what he wanted.
So this is sort of okay, this is very interesting. So your opinion is, and you've covered the State House for many, 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 many years. You started when you were 13. So now that you're 38, you're right in the middle of your prime. Your theory is he knows this is never happening, but it's sort of an earned media type of thing,
Publicity stunt.
Right, where he's getting millions of dollars of attention for something that doesn't cost him anything, basically.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So not a lot of political capital.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You know her. She's one of the best in the business. But look, I'll tell you what, Nikki, you guys, I said this the other day. Casey and I were talking about this. I think you guys now do the best job of any news outlet in the entire state in terms of the covering of the State House. And you guys are like one of the few soldiers left that are day to day in there covering what's going on. And there's a whole bunch of stuff. People have no idea what's going on without you guys. So thanks for all you guys do over there at the Capitol Chronicle.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
Nikki Kelly, you're the best. Thank you.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hey, Hammer and Nigel here for Window Nation. Valentine's Day is behind us, and Groundhog's Day and President's Day are in the rear view, but there's still time to take advantage of Window Nation's amazing offer. Save 60% on all window styles and pay nothing for 2 years, only at Window Nation now through the end of February to save big on some of the best windows you could buy.
To get windows that will protect your home and family for decades, get a quote on the windows that are going to stop the drafts, stop the leaks, and save you money on your utility bills every month. Save 60%, 60% on all window styles and pay nothing for 2 years. Hurry, this offer ends February 28th. Schedule that free in-home consultation by calling Window Nation at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. 866-90-NATION, windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-0395. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They have a deal. 46 degrees here on Monument Circle. I'm Sasha Nixon for Window Nation. Here's what's trending at 10:30. Rolls-Royce workers in Indianapolis are staying on the job. Ryan Hedrick has the details.
United Auto Workers boss, Sean Fain.
And I'm proud to say that we've reached a tentative agreement that reflects the hard work and sacrifices made by our members.
Fain says the real win here is getting rid of tier-based compensation.
For the lowest tier, Tier 4, you're going to see an $18.79 raise,
which he says is a 68% pay increase. Skilled workers will now get $50 an hour under this deal. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The average price for gas across the state is currently $2.87 per gallon, according to GasBuddy.com. That's below the national average of $3.12. Still 46 degrees here on Monument Circle. I'm Sasha Nixon, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
I'll say this. There are no entries in the Hoops Fan Hall of Fame who didn't show up to the game. Yes, you in the back.
Professor, March Madness is coming to Indianapolis. Are we ready?
You prepared to bring the fire? Give it 110 from tip to the final buzzer? Oh, you're ready. The NCAA Sweet 16 and Elite 8, March 28th and 30th in Indianapolis. Buy your seats today at ncaa.com/MVB tickets. Class dismissed.
Did you know Indiana has a critical shortage of high school referees?
It's causing our games to be canceled or understaffed, and we need your help. I'm Greer Swaim from Fishers High School.
And I'm Cooper Allen from Shenandoah High School. We need you so we can keep playing our favorite sports.
So our opportunities to learn aren't limited.
So our experience in high school sports is everything it should be.
With your help, we can make sure we have enough officials for every game.
And student athletes around the state always have the chance to grow through high school sports.
Are you game? Sign up as a high school official in your community today.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. High school sports can't happen without high school officials. Help us fill an urgent need in our state so games aren't canceled or understaffed. Visit ihsaa.org to become an official today. This is protecting high school sports. This is serving your community. This is your IHSAA.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present voicemails.
All right, before we get to the voicemails, by the way, it's the Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. Reminder of the big announcement we had in hour one. March the 17th, 1 p.m., Indiana State House. The property tax reform rally. Casey and I will be broadcasting that day 9 to noon at the outside the Lieutenant Governor's office.
Yep.
And we are asking you, this is the Custer's last stand of property taxes. So if you're pissed off at your bills going up the past 4 or 5 years, if you're pissed off about these senators who won't answer your questions, if you're pissed off about people like Scott Baldwin and Brett Clark who work for or with these construction management companies that make a fortune off local government property taxes and then vote to screw you to defend these local governments. Whatever the thing you're pissed off about, we're giving you a forum to make some noise. March the 17th, 1 p.m. We want you to wear green. That's St. Patrick's Day.
It is.
And we're wanting you to wear green. First of all, we wanted to have a little fun with the angry red-shirted teachers. I mean, if the angry red-shirted teachers can get
everybody loves
to
the theme.
Bend a knee, then we can have a little fun with that. But we want our money back. And so, wear green that day. You can bring signs into the State House. We're going to have a great old time. Micah's going to speak. Hammer's going to MC. Casey and I will speak. We're going to have probably at least one other really, really good person that's going to speak. And it'll be an opportunity. We want to put 1,000 people. That's our goal. 1,000 people inside the State House. And look, all we can do is create the thing for you. And if you don't show up, then this ain't going to work.
Yep.
And we've been honest with you throughout this whole process, whether it was emailing us your property tax assessments, emailing these lawmakers. We've always been upfront and honest with you about this process and how it works. We've been right about everything so far, about how they were going to screw you, about how it was going to go, about how the process was going to play out. And the reality is, if you don't show up to this thing, if it falls flat, they will laugh at us, and that'll be the end of this. So we're banking a lot on you. We are banking on you, the audience, that you will come through because we're taking a big risk putting this out there. Because if it falls flat, they'll go, see, nobody wanted that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And if we want to let them know how serious we are, we need you to show up.
That's right.
You can't say it more plainly than that. You got to be there.
We're asking for 1 hour of your day on St. Patrick's Day. Downtown's the place to be anyway when it comes to St. Patrick's Day. So you should be down here anyway. Come out, make some noise, and go have a beverage. It's going to be a great day.
Yep. So it is the Property Tax Reform Rally, Monday, March 17th at 1 p.m. inside the State House, and wear green, and we're going to let them know we're serious.
If we put 1,000 people
we mean business.
Yeah, if we put 1,000 people in there, that place will shake, and that'll be awesome. Maybe we'll get overflow. Maybe it'll flow out like onto the streets. Maybe have to shut down Capitol Avenue, and so it'll be fun. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time.
Okay, let's get to a phone call at 317-684-8444. This first one is about Indiana's state budget.
Hey, I was just listening to the discussion about the Indiana budget, and I have to say I was quite blown away by the size of the Indiana budget being $47 billion. Reason being is back in 2000, I graduated from high school, and that fall I took an economics course at Ivy Tech, and the gentleman that was teaching the course was at some time, I don't know if it was then or before that, was a member of the Indiana State Legislature. So the state budget was something that was discussed. And I distinctly remember him saying that the budget was around $10 billion a year. And this was, like I said, the fall of 2000. So my question is, has the state grown 4 times in that period? Or is the population 4 times bigger than it was 25 years ago? I'm just kind of curious because that's quite a high level of growth. Thanks. Have a good day.
Okay, so a couple things. One, the budget, when we talk about a budget in the state of Indiana, they run what's called a biennial budget, which means they pass it for 2 years. So when we're talking about $46.7 billion, which is rough estimate what the budget is. It could change quite a bit. There's a long way left to go in the session, but that's the estimated budget. That is for 2 years. So it'd be 20, what would that be? 20, just under $24 billion annually. Yeah. So we don't ever want to seem like we're rigging the numbers in our favor. They're bad enough. We don't have to lie about them. So I wanted to be clear. If that guy said the budget was $10 billion annually, which is probably not wrong. It was probably $20 billion a biennial budget in the year 2000. The state population in 2000 was almost 6.1 million people. The population today is roughly 6.9. So it's grown by about 800,000 people in that time, but certainly not anywhere that would begin to justify
doubling it. The budget?
Well, yeah, I mean more than that, right? If it was 20 billion then and it's 47 billion now, I mean more than doubling that. But that's interesting. It's interesting to see that play out and how much our state has grown or not grown relative to the massive spending increases.
Well, the one thing we know that has grown, the money they take from you.
Yeah.
The budget, in
Absolutely.
fact. Here's another phone call. This one is about property taxes.
I did comment on something. My name is Jennifer. Bear with me. I feel like I'm losing my voice. But I was listening to you about the property tax. Of course, I'm feeling it as well. But what gets me, and it's not them, tax money stealers, the villains that are taking our tax dollars and making us pay for our own land, because they're villains. That's what they do. But what gets me is the people who are keeping them in office. Don't they feel it? I mean, you've got to feel it everywhere. Don't they have somebody they know that they love or hold close to their heart that they see struggling over this, or they really think this is the right thing to do? And I'm talking about people voting them in and keeping them in office. I don't understand that. But, you know, I also don't know any stories where the villain comes out ahead. Because, you know, we can thank Rod, Kendall, Casey, Kevin, we can thank you all. But for bringing to light what's in the story, making it transparent, making the story transparent for everybody. And, you know, maybe people just didn't care before or just thought that's just the way of life. But it's not the way of life, and we can stop them. And people need to know this. And thank you for what you do, because you've opened a lot of people's eyes.
Okay, well, thank you. That's a very nice phone call. We did get one question in the YouTube chat, and I think it's a fair question, about parking for an event like this.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of on-street parking around the State House and Government Center. The mall, is my understanding, still has a parking lot, which is very reasonable. And so there are plenty of areas in and around the greater State House area that you would be able to park if you came, and they will charge you a small fee. But like the mall used to be very reasonable. I don't know if they've raised the rates the last couple of years, but it used to be a very reasonable thing. All right, so to what she said. One of the things that we need to realize we're up against is that you have a whole bunch of people, as we've talked about, that are totally entrenched in the what I call the local government scene. Mm-hmm. And by that, I mean either they're in the government itself, or they're a part of kind of that Chamber of Commerce crowd where these people are all connected in the same soup. Like in your community, if you live in a thriving Indianapolis suburban community, you're going to see these people if you go to these events, and they're all joined at the same hip. They do not care about what you pay for property taxes, because oftentimes they're very wealthy people, or in the case of they work for the government, they make money off the property taxes. And the people in that Chamber of Commerce crowd, they want to be liked, right? They don't want to push back. They want to go to these events. They want to hobnob with the politicians. So there is a big group of influencers, not in numbers, but in terms of their influence in the community, who they are for this. They don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care it's happening. And that's the challenge on this, because these lawmakers, you got to understand, these lawmakers are not communicating with you for the most part. They communicate with the movers and shakers. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. When you see these photos with these lawmakers, mm-hmm. I was very pleased to welcome so-and-so fire chief.
Right.
So-and-so mayor.
It's none of their constituents.
No. So this group of the superintendent. It's never you. It's never, I just met with 100 random taxpayers, and it was great that they gave me a piece of their mind on what's going on. So you have to understand, that's who they're listening to. That's who they're being influenced by. And from the beginning, we've talked about, if the property tax thing is going to work, you have to steamroll this local, I call it the local government cabal, right? Mm-hmm. These cabals of local government people, and you've got to, by just sheer will and peaceful means, overwhelm the system. And that's kind of what we're trying to do on the 17th. It's what we did with the emails. It's what we did with the phone calls. You've got to overwhelm the system so that these lawmakers feel they have no choice but to respond to you, because there's so many of you, they can't hide behind these local government cabals.
Right. Well, wasn't it George Carlin who said it's a big club and you ain't in it?
That's right.
And speaking of overwhelming, that's what we're trying to do with this rally that we're having at the State House on Monday, March 17th at 1 p.m. that we want you to be there for. We want to overwhelm them with your presence. Let them know, because they're ignoring us.
Yeah.
They don't care. It's excuse. But what are they going to have the stones to say it to your face when you're there in their house?
Yeah, that's right.
Your house, the state house?
That's right. All right. Do we want to take another phone call? Or no, we got to get to Hammer, don't we? Hammer's next.
Yeah, let's make time for Hammer. He's coming up. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show. If you missed our conversation with Governor Mike Braun, check that out on the podcast page, WIBC.com. Rob Kendall off the rails and the biggest stories in Indy. That's today, 3 o'clock, 93 WIBC.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Say goodbye to cracked, stained floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out from their many colors. Upgrade your home today like I did. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. They come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. Call now for a free estimate. 877-417-0635. They're also online at galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
Spring in Indy, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Don did. He called Rhino Shield.
Well, the home was built in 1948. Paint on the aluminum siding was peeling, and I couldn't find anyone who would repaint it until I called Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield's better than paint, and the crew?
Painted all my aluminum siding, and I've got a front porch that runs the whole length of the house, and all the pillars and everything. And once they were gone, I couldn't even tell that they were there.
With Rhino Shield's 25-year transferable warranty, you'll never have to paint your home again. And right now, you can have Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
Well, I've told a lot of people, do the Rhino Shield. It's really a great product, and if you don't want to paint the house, that would be the way to go.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Joe Montana here. In my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease. Are you 50 or older like me? The CDC now recommends vaccination against pneumococcal disease. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at increased risk and over 6 times greater risk of hospitalization with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50. Schedule your appointment today at vaxassist.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Kendall and Casey.
I'm a young, up-and-coming professional. We are people who want to work. We want to engage. We don't want to be freeloaders. And yet, it makes it very hard for young people to actually do that.
Kendall and Casey, 9 till noon on 93 WIBC.
He's been tapped as the MC for the property tax reform rally coming up Monday, March 17th, 1 p.m. at the State House. You're going to be there. He's going to be there. He's Jason Hammer from the #1 rated Hammer and Nigel show.
My inspiration to be the MC at this event is going to be like the guy in Forrest Gump, where he's got the patriotic jacket on.
Abby Hoffman, yes.
Abby Hoffman. We're here to talk about property freaking taxes. And Rob will be like Forrest Gump. And no, man, I'm excited. Thank you guys for asking me to be a part of this.
There's nobody better at this than you.
Yeah.
You guys,
man,
have seen me do weddings before,
Yeah.
right? Rob, you've been there. You know, I've posted
Rob,
videos.
you were there.
You were there. For those who've been to the Fuel hockey games that I've worked, I think I'm pretty good at firing up a crowd, man.
Yeah, and so this will, again, if you're just tuning in, we're going to have a big rally March 17th, 1 p.m. at the State House. Hammers, this is a property tax rally. Wear green for St. Patrick. Well, it's on St. Patrick's Day.
Which, by the way, if you go to our Twitter right now, at Hammer and Nigel, there's an amazing store where you could buy a green shirt. I'm just saying.
Oh, right.
The Hammer and Nigel Show store. Now, it's not necessarily a property tax shirt, but it's a St. Patrick's Day shirt that you can wear every single year, and you've got options.
And the premise of the green, and Casey came up with this, was, we got the angry red-shirted teachers that always get their way because they wear a red shirt. Well, we'll just wear green because we want our money back, and if it's the shirt that does the thing, then that's what we're going to do. So Hammer will MC, Micah's going to speak. We've got another guest speaker or two, and then Case and I'll wind it down, and it's a chance for you to come make some noise and have a good old time.
Yeah, I'm excited for this, and I think this is going to be really, really good. So let's go.
We need some tailgating.
We need somebody to be a green beer vendor. Can we have vendors in that place?
I don't know. Casey, you need to ask Jim what the rule is on somebody setting up a green beer vendorship.
Okay.
Because I'm sure we could find a partner, that would be able to be willing to provide some sort of libations.
Yeah. And then, of course, we'll be doing the broadcast 9 until noon before the show. If you want to come watch the show from the Lieutenant Governor's office, right there, or right outside the Lieutenant Governor's office. So, look, I'm just sick of these lawmakers ignoring people, and we thought, well, how can we make it so they can't ignore them?
And so many of these guys think that all of you are dumb.
Yep.
Right? Oh, just email me and I'll talk to you, because they're confident they can just say a bunch of word salads. You're not going to be able to understand it. But also, they don't want you to find out that some of these dudes, and I know we've talked about it, they've got their hands in financial gain cookie pots, right? Where if they go the other direction on the property tax discussion, they make money. And these are the people on the committee. Like Baldwin's got some sort of tie into a construction company. There's another guy.
Brett Clark.
Brett Clark
Big
has
tax,
another
Brett.
one. Now, is he the one that has been running his mouth about you guys?
Yeah, I said we were a pain in the butt, but he didn't say butt.
Oh, wow.
See, I don't know why these people think they can maybe he doesn't care. I mean,
He doesn't care.
He's an entitled egomaniac. But, like, we have friends all over that State House. And if you're going to say it in public, like if you're going to be saying it to people in a hallway, somebody's going to walk by. It's going to be our people, and they're going to hear it. Why don't you just come on here and say it to our face?
Right.
And you guys would never have said his name had he been doing the will of the people.
That's right.
Like, it's not like you picked his name out of a hat. Oh, let's see who's going to be my witch today.
Yep.
It's not that case at all. Had he been doing the will of the people, what he was elected to do, you never would have heard his name on your show.
Right.
But now you're the bad guys, according to Brett Clark. And anybody that listens to your show, thus is the bad guy.
We're the problem.
Yeah.
This is what they think about you.
And the reason we start looking at these guys, we want to know why you screwed the people, because there's no rational reason. Nobody believes local governments are hurting or are going to hurt. There has to be a reason you screwed the people. And in the case of Baldwin and Brett Clark, they're tied into these construction management companies who make huge money off these local government property construction contracts.
But that does tell you that it is working just a bit, because if Brett Clark is walking around in the State House saying that we're pains in the butt, well, oh, sorry, you mean we're holding you accountable?
Right. We're not asking for the moon here. This property tax bill, and we told this to the governor yesterday, SB 1 was fair, because there's a lot of people that feel like property taxes as a whole should be removed.
Me.
If you own your home, you should not have to pay anymore. Me.
Yeah.
But that's just going back to 2021, and that still wasn't good enough for all these greedy people and all these idiots that bought into the fear. Well, there might not be police officers or first responders or firefighters or water or, oxygen or grass anymore. The children, who's going to save the children? These morons believed it.
Yeah, speaking of your interview with Braun yesterday, I thought I've been watching him for 10 years now as a state rep and then senator and now the governor. It's the best interview he's ever done. I thought you got the most personality out of him I've ever seen, and I thought it was great radio yesterday.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We try to get as much in as we could. We could have spent a whole hour with him because there's so much stuff going on here. But we had a short amount of time, and we kind of had a little fun with him, but we also kind of got down to business as well. And you said this earlier. He seems really confident.
He does.
That something is going to get done. Now, that puts a lot of pressure on the House, which is unfair that the Senate just says, well, this bill sucks. Hopefully the House can fix it. Which is basically what they've done.
What they did.
It's a lot of pressure on the House.
But the House earlier was like, that's not a priority for us. So, like, now we're banking on a group of people who are like, yeah, that's not even a thing for us.
I love how you asked him. You're like, so say it's a Friday night and I've had a few shots and I call up my representative. Does that work? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually it does.
You don't necessarily have to be liquored up to call, but...
Makes it more fun, right?
That's your choice.
Well, sometimes you need a little honesty juice to make that phone call, right?
Yeah, but I thought it was great. I mean, obviously the thing about him and DOGE was awesome, but I thought that first part of that interview was great too, because Holcomb came off as an elitist a-hole. Braun doesn't come off that way. He just comes off sometimes as a guy who's a little dry and nice guy, but a little dry. And I thought you guys got a lot out of him yesterday, like with the Diet Coke thing at his desk. And I just thought it was a really good interview.
I love the stories of people going behind the scenes at the White House.
Yeah.
Like from his time as a senator, or even recently when he went there for this big governor's shindig.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that he knew what Trump was going to do to this Maine governor. And, like, in my mind, he's sitting there with, like, his wife, watch this.
Right.
You know,
It's like, it's coming. Just wait.
It's like when you're watching wrestling, right? And you see The Rock goes in the ring and he puts the microphone up. You know he's going to say, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? You know Trump's about to roast somebody.
And he did not reject the idea of Indiana DOGE.
No. I think he actually might be, interested in it. Maybe it needs a little tweaking, but
We need a powwow at the governor's mansion. You can come with me. You can be my +1.
Well, that'd be great. Like, people like us could get invited now and not Malik Mohammed like the previous administration.
Coming up this afternoon.
Or a petri dish.
Rob Kendall, off the rails. We've got Senator Jim Banks, and we've got a new podcast out. New Degenerates Next Door Betting Podcast, dropping at 1 o'clock.
Thanks, Hammer. You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Recent talk about rising interest rates and economic uncertainty may have you wondering if now is the right time to sell your home. Will I get the price I need? Will it take too long? The good news, you don't have to figure this out by yourself. There is a friendly, no-pressure, experienced agent who eats and sleeps Indianapolis real estate. Call my agent, Mark Dietel. Maybe you want a guaranteed, no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Mark Dietel's the only real estate expert I trust and recommend with the sale of my home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Crystal in Franklin said, I was moving to Kentucky and needed to move fast. I got the Mark Dietel marketing plan and was blown away. The plan worked. I got a full list price offer in the first weekend. Just like that, Mark and his team got it done. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark Dietel, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected. Also, you forgot to renew your website domain, and now you're in a bidding war.
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room, and now everything smells weird.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 765-545-BATH. That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Do you need furnace or heat pump service and need to find a local well-trained expert you can trust like Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning? Find that American Standard Air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
Hannah complained of a headache. It was a rhabdomyosarcoma. Within a few days, Hannah was in treatment because we were told that the tumor was very aggressive. And it very quickly became clear that St. Jude was the ultimate place to be. So we've essentially put our lives in South Africa on hold. Incredibly blessed to be here. St. Jude is an asset to the world. The research that is developed here is offered freely to the rest of the medical world. The entire way that the place operates is just to give and to care. I think it's the kind of place that not only stands as a beacon for pediatric cancer, but I think it could teach the world a couple of lessons about how to treat people.
They've reached a deal and what to expect. I'm Sasha Nixon. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
The American national anthem might be booed again at hockey games in Canada. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. With a trade war looming again, President Trump posted on Truth Social this morning he plans to impose tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada next Tuesday, 25% on most goods, after he delayed them a month. The president cites unacceptable levels of drugs like fentanyl crossing the border the day after he said at a cabinet meeting,
"The damage has been done. We've lost millions of people due to fentanyl. It comes mostly from China, but it comes through Mexico and it comes through Canada."
The president also plans next week, he wrote, to double that 10% tariff on China. A win for the president as he makes big cuts at the U.S. Agency for International Development.
Last night, Chief Justice John Roberts determined that USAID could hold off paying about $2 billion for aid work already completed. At yesterday's cabinet meeting, President Trump called the federal government bloated, fat, and disgusting. The administration is directing federal agencies to develop plans for large-scale layoffs, consolidating operations, and moving offices out of the D.C. area.
Fox's Rich Edson at the White House, where next hour the president will hold talks with Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer on ending the war in Ukraine.
Last week, he said he was willing to deploy peacekeepers to Ukraine and boost defense spending. Now he wants a U.S. security guarantee to deter Russia.
That's Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. Tomorrow, Ukraine's president will go to the White House to talk about a peace deal and sign an agreement letting the U.S. share profits from Ukraine's natural resources. Still no update today on how Gene Hackman died. The legendary actor found at his home in Santa Fe, New Mexico, next to his wife and dog, who were also dead. Hackman was 95 and retired long ago.
Lex Luthor, the greatest criminal mind of our time.
Hackman was the villain in 3 Superman movies. He won an Oscar for Unforgiven.
He's got one barrel left. When he fires that, take out your pistols and shoot him down like the mangy scoundrel he is.
Hackman won his first Oscar, a Best Actor Academy Award for The French Connection. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They've reached a deal. 47 degrees here on Monument Circle. I'm Sasha Nixon. Here's what's trending at 11:02. Rolls-Royce workers in Indianapolis are staying on the job. Ryan Hedrick has the details.
United Auto Workers boss, Sean Fain.
And I'm proud to say that we've reached a tentative agreement that reflects the hard work and sacrifices made by our members.
Fain says the real win here is getting rid of tier-based compensation.
For the lowest tier, Tier 4, you're going to see an $18.79 raise.
Which he says is a 68% pay increase. Skilled workers will now get $50 an hour under this deal. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And we are not maybe done with the snow yet, says Greg Mello with the National Weather Service, Indianapolis.
As we move into March, we still have a roller coaster in temperatures. If we get a cold front that pushes through and cools us down just enough, we could still see snow chances. Right now, we don't have any snow chances in the forecast.
He says it'll stay windy for the next couple of days, with gusts up to 45 miles per hour on Friday. Hot off the heels of the successful film adaptation of the same name, the musical Wicked is coming back to Indianapolis. The long-running stage production tells the story of Glinda the Good Witch and the Wicked Witch of the West when they were school friends in Oz. It just celebrated its 21st anniversary on Broadway last October and features hit songs like Defying Gravity, popular, and for good. You can catch the show this summer at the Old National Center from June 18th through July 6th. Tickets are on sale now online. The average price for gas across the state is currently $2.87 per gallon, according to GasBuddy.com. That's below the national average of $3.12. I'm Sasha Nixon, on the level, on the go, and on WYBC.com.
Whether you're preparing for retirement, navigating a life transition, or simply wondering if you're on the right path, Howard Bailey Financial is here to help. Together, we'll work on a personalized plan designed to bring greater clarity to your goals and help you approach decisions with confidence. It's not just about numbers, it's about the life you want to lead and the legacy you want to leave behind. With over 20 years of experience, Howard Bailey Financial has been dedicated to guiding individuals as they work toward taking control of their financial future and finding peace of mind. Text PATH to 888-262-1104 to download a free retirement toolkit and start planning for the retirement you've dreamed of. Howard Bailey Financial, helping you turn hope into a plan and dreams into reality. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WYBC.
Well, good morning. It is Thursday, February 27th. It is 5 minutes after 11. It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC. Rob, would you like to remind everybody about the big event we have planned to hopefully help them?
Oh, my goodness. People are so fired up about this already. March the 17th. We made the announcement at 9:30 this morning. We got the word yesterday. All the I's were dotted and T's were crossed and permits were given that March the 17th at 1 p.m., so 2 weeks from Monday, 1 p.m. at the Indiana State House, we are doing our property tax rally, and our goal is to put 1,000 people in that State House. And so here's sort of what we're doing here. So the Lieutenant Governor's office has really done all the legwork on this. The fine people that work for Micah at his instruction have gotten all the permitting and the logistics taken care of and done a really, really great job. So you see those people out and about, thank them. They're the reason we're doing this. We're going to broadcast from 9 until noon at the Lieutenant Governor's office outside of there, the Big Pig.
How do you think that's going to go?
Oh, I think it's going to go great.
We need to talk about that for just a second.
I think it's going to be great. Now, we told Micah when he won, we said, your first day in office, we'll get out there and do it. It's a lot of work to do a remote broadcast, though, and I just didn't want to put the work in. So,
well, plus he had to figure out where the bathroom was.
But this I will put the work in for. So we're going to broadcast 9 until noon. You can come out. We'll be right out there. I'm sure there'll be some burly security man protecting us in some shape, form, or fashion.
You think so?
Well, I'm going to get some burly security man to protect us. But if you're a fan of the show, you can come out and watch a live show. And then at 1 p.m., we're asking everybody to wear green.
Yeah.
It is St. Patrick's Day. And we're asking you to wear green because, well, the angry red-shirted teachers get whatever they want when they wear red. So if just wearing a colored shirt is the key.
Trick, yeah.
We're going to have you wear green because you want your money back.
That's right.
You're tired of getting screwed by these people. And the reason we're doing this rally, what really inspired this was the way you have been ignored and treated like a little child when you can get a response from these senators when you demanded to know how and why they gutted Senate Bill 1, which would have helped you, the Braun property tax plan, which would have helped you with property taxes. So many people had written and called and said, I'm so frustrated. I can't get a response. And when I do, it's some auto response. And even if I can get somebody like the real person, the real senator, it's, oh, you're listening to Rob Kendall and he's blah, blah, blah. And people know they're being screwed. They don't need to hear it from me.
Let's talk on the phone. We'll chat.
So we said, well, let's go to them in person. And this was the day that kind of made sense. And there'll be a lot of people that are going to be downtown having a good time anyway. And we said, we'll kind of maybe kill two birds with one stone. So March the 17th, 1 p.m. at the State House. Look, this is the Custer's last stand of the property tax fight. If you're a person who listens to this show every day, you got to go. You got to prioritize it. You got to take off work, do it. You got to get a babysitter, do it. If you're a person who has emailed and you've been treated like garbage, do it. If you're a person who's seen your property taxes skyrocket the past 4 years, do it. If this thing fails, they will laugh at us and you will get nothing.
Yeah.
We are banking on you. This is the bet that Casey and I made. We had a long conversation about this. We are betting on you, the audience, that you will come through and show up, because I am telling you right now, if we do not pack that place, they will say, see, they didn't really want it.
So it's great. We got a lot of phone calls. Everybody shared how much their property tax has increased over the years. We know that many of you have emailed and called the senators. We know all that. We heard Governor Braun mention specific people in his State of the State address, and we're counting on you to be there. So if you called and you did all those things, honestly, that's kind of easy to do.
Yeah.
That's just, you pick up the phone.
Yep.
So now comes the real heavy lifting.
And this will be a fun event. It's not going to be some boring get-together. Hammer's going to MC it. Micah will be speaking. We're going to have at least one, maybe two other exciting guest speakers. Casey and I will kind of close the whole event, and we're going to make some noise. I want to make the State House walls shake so that those lawmakers know you're out there, and they know you're pissed, and they see it, the visual of 1,000 people in that State House. Maybe we'll get lucky enough. I mean, it's a state of 7 million people. 1,000 people is really not that many people, and we are betting on you. We are taking the risk, and we are betting on you that you will show up for this thing. And if you don't, it will fail, and we will never get another opportunity at this. So prove us right. Show up. Give us an hour of your time.
Yeah.
We'll make it worth it, and let's send a message.
Okay, let's talk about what Eli Lilly announced yesterday.
Oh,
they have plans to open 4 new manufacturing. They're called mega sites in the U.S. This is to take place over
Are they all in the Leap District?
Well, that's been a question, hasn't it?
Because I thought Lilly was building this mega complex at I thought the Indy was our forever home case, and that's why we gave them all those freebies in the Leap giveaway and did the organization for them. Of course, you can't get a lot of information about Leap, as we talked with Nikki Kelly, but I thought that's why we did all that, was because Eli Lilly was forever Indiana.
Okay, so here is their CEO, and he's talking about this $27 billion manufacturing investment in the United States.
So today we're announcing 4 new sites, $27 billion additional spend, bringing our total to more than $50 billion since 2020 in the U.S. So huge build out in our country, and it's to support our pipeline growth overall, but disproportionately growing in the U.S. And so here we'll be building 4 new sites. 3 are active ingredient sites, and then 1 parenteral site for the injectable medications. Of course, the Zepbound and other future obesity medications will be a big part of that volume growth, but other medicines for cancer and Alzheimer's, et cetera, will also be important to support here with domestic manufacturing. So big announcement today. It's very exciting.
They're here in Indiana, right? We've given them all this stuff. They're putting them all right here in Indiana.
Oh, they're in talks with several states.
What? Now, wait a second. No. Time out.
Yeah.
All I hear is we are Indiana, and Indiana is us, and we couldn't be prouder to be in the Leap District. Of course, we're the only tenant in the Leap District right now, but we couldn't be prouder because nobody is more Hoosier than Eli Lilly. And now you're telling me that they're potentially cheating on us with other states? Well, gosh darn it, Case, it's almost like they're a company that exists to make money, and they're willing to tell and say and do whatever they have to in order to get the best deal for themselves. It's almost like that we're Hoosier through and through stuff was just kind of made up.
They're to make money. How about a lot of money?
Yeah, we said yesterday their market cap is like almost $900 billion.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
But look, it's fine. It's capitalistic society. You do the thing, you make money. Now, the drug industry, and that's its own, the way the government rigs it in favor of certain people, et cetera. But my issue is all the stuff we give them when they're the largest, most powerful drug manufacturer in the world, and we're led to believe by the state of Indiana that they need our help putting together a basic real estate deal. Really?
Yeah.
Well, Lilly's a really great partner. Yeah, they're using you to make money.
How much are they investing in that LEAP project? What was it?
Is it 13? They said $13 billion. Now, you got to remember.
So far, they're the only tenant, by the way.
But this is when you can't get any information. So keep in mind. Now, let's remind everybody, because some people may not be familiar. The Indiana Economic Development Corporation is this quasi-government entity set up by the state where they just throw money at stuff. They buy land, they facilitate building purchases, they could do infrastructure. And the problem with them is because and this is done deliberately, they're set up as a quasi-government entity. They don't have the same reporting requirements that you do, or that most government entities have. And so trying to get information when something fails and they don't want you to have it, they can stonewall you in ways that other government entities cannot. And so it's very hard to understand how they're doing, what they're doing. You clearly know it's not going well, or they would be bragging about it, right?
Right.
Because they'll tell you, Eli Lilly's making a $13 billion investment. Okay, well, how much does that make for the taxpayers based on what you've spent? And then you get because they don't want to talk about that. Because the reality is, so much of what Lilly's doing, it's not stuff that's, a so-and-so investment. This always used to get me when I was an elected person. When I would hear the investment is, yeah, but the property doesn't mean that property that Lilly's on means nothing to me. Lebanon, the city of Lebanon is getting all of that property, those property tax dollars. It's in a special tax increment finance district, so it's going to facilitate LEAP. But ultimately, those property tax dollars are going to flow through to Boone County. That doesn't help me at all. So I don't give two damns about the property investment in Boone County. The only thing I might care about when they talk about investment is the wages that they're paying and the sales tax. But that's a drop, or the income tax and the payroll tax. But that's a drop in the bucket compared to the money. This is what people need to get through their heads. When they talk about we're taking state dollars, the biggest portion of this that'll benefit is going to benefit Boone County, because that's where the project is. The property taxes are going to stay in Boone County, in that special LEAP district. It's not even going to help Lebanon for a very long time either, but eventually it will help Lebanon. It's not going to help you at all. Property taxes are a local thing, and the rest of this investment, it's going to pay the people that work there.
So the question is, if Lilly is confirmed, they're a confirmed tenant in that LEAP project, and they have a $13 billion investment, which is supposed to create 1,300 jobs, why did the state need to invest $1 billion in it?
Great question. Why could Lilly not do a basic real estate transaction? And that's the question. Now, they're way short right now, I think, on what they promised versus in terms of the actual acreage that they're using. Like, they're not, I don't think they've totally built out what the promise was in terms of even with that deal. And again, the biggest problem in all this is not that it's a bad deal. It is a bad deal. If it were a good deal, they'd give you the proof that it was a good deal, and they don't do that. That's why they hide it. That's why the IEDC hides it. There's nothing to hide with Lilly now. The deal is complete. They're out there. It's going on. They hide it because they're losing money. You're losing money as a taxpayer. This was Eric Holcomb's giveaway. This tech park, LEAP, in Boone County, Lebanon, was Eric Holcomb's giveaway to his big business crony buddy friends and making you pay for it. If they were making money, if this were this great boon for the state of Indiana, they would show you the financials. They can't do it because it doesn't. And what they want you to do is they want you to hear $13 billion and get all enamored with that. They want you to get wowed by $13 billion, which it means nothing.
When does the state get the $1 billion upfront investment back?
That's right. Great question. Because from a state perspective, what Lilly's going to pay, the property taxes don't help the state at all. That's a LEAP Lebanon deal. There'd be, like I said, the various taxes associated with payrolls, and you have income tax from the people who work there. And then what? And by the way, this is where it comes back to why so many people are pissed off. These workers that are coming in, most of them are not Indiana people. It's not like, we took these Hoosiers and we elevated them because all these, Joe Schmoes who are working at the Circle K are now working at Eli Lilly. No, they brought in foreign workers. Like in some cases, literally foreigners. And in some cases, it's people who didn't live in this state. So you're not bettering the lives of Hoosiers. You're just creating a bunch of housing need, which then becomes these high-density housing developments, which further screws up the land and the character of the area, which is what the farmers out there are pissed off about.
Yeah.
This people don't understand, and it's by design. It's by design. They know the tax system is so complex and how it works that there's only a handful of people who understand the actual cost benefit of how a state project like this would work, and they want people to hear $13 billion. Yeah, that $13 billion benefits Lilly. Right? That is not for the most part, that is not benefiting you. It is benefiting the people who are getting paid. It's benefiting the city of Lebanon eventually in this LEAP tax increment finance district, which, by the way, they gutted tax increment finance about 10 years ago because they said it was bad because it was stealing from schools. But then when they needed LEAP, what'd they do? They set up a giant, it's essentially a tax increment finance district because they actually work. That's the point of all this. They know the average person will get so enamored with the number $13 billion, they won't see past it to see how little it's actually paying off in terms of their investment.
Well, if it's an investment, when's the return on it?
Exactly.
That's what you got to wonder. Okay, so Katy Perry is going to space.
Oh.
And NFL, the chain gang, is saying goodbye.
I love this.
That's on the way from 93 WIBC.
Indianapolis roads, a total disaster. Some of the worst potholes in America. Am I right?
A car on Keystone Avenue just fell into one the size of a swimming pool.
Disgraceful. These roads should be great again. But right now, they look like the surface of the moon.
Suspension repair shops are making a fortune.
Rigged system. But Matt Bear, he's the guy to trust. Tremendous at avoiding these disasters. Just tremendous.
Matt Bear, making your commute great again. Mornings and afternoons on 93 WIBC.
Hey guys, it's Rob. It's hard to believe 2 days, March will be here. And you know what March means? I mean, spring and summer be here before you know it. And this spring or summer, you're probably once again asking yourself the question, what am I going to do with my kids? Well, Life Church has all kinds of options for kids and teens this spring and summer, including a week-long vacation Bible school for kids and camps for kids and teens, too. Life Church's Next Gen Ministries can help parents make a lasting impact for their children and teenagers to last throughout their entire lives. To learn more about Life Church's 4 campuses across central Indiana, their online services, summer programs, and more, head over to lifechurchin.com.
Did you miss the Sullivan Hardware and Garden patio furniture sale last weekend? Well, you didn't miss it all. Due to tremendous response, we've held over the best pricing of the season on premium patio furniture. Hi, Pat Sullivan here. Have you seen all the patio furniture at Sullivan Hardware and Garden? Teak, cast aluminum, all-weather wicker, Berlin garden poly furniture, and much more. Many customers ask me, why is our patio furniture different? Well, we specialize in excellent quality mid-price patio furniture that's in stock at our 17,000 square foot warehouse. And again, this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, patio furniture already preseason priced at 30% off is an additional 20% off. You can even order your own custom cushions at no extra charge. Come see for yourself once again this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Patio furniture already preseason priced at 30% off is an additional 20% off. Sullivan Hardware and Garden, 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, and in Cicero. Online at sullivanhardware.com.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-0395. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC now recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
Look who just wandered into the studio.
Hey, what's up? It's Klopfenstein's time.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, everybody. I hear your camera's not working today.
Well, no, Rob's camera's not working.
Oh, somebody's camera's not working today.
Brad Klopfenstein, you know him as a fill-in host and all-around great humanitarian. So Klopfenstein, you're the beer guy, right?
Mm-hmm. I am. I know a little bit about beer.
Okay, so Hammer. So we got you may have heard, we got the big State House rally coming up March 17th.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day.
You're going to be there, right, in your green shirt?
I am 1/8 Irish.
Yeah.
That counts. Doesn't matter if you're Irish or not.
So Hammer had an idea,
your property tax bill
and I
went
think
up.
it's a great idea because you're going to have all these people flooding into the State House March 17th, 1 p.m. for the property tax rally at the State House. Can we get a beer vendor set up? And you are Mr. Beer, and so we were asking you, could you finagle some sort of beer vendor stand for people that, in the greater State House area?
I have a couple of ideas. So let me make a couple calls. No promises, but it's a possibility.
Because that would be a money printing factory. As usual, we're creating commerce and getting no thanks for it whatsoever.
Right.
All
Look
those
at everything we do.
Yeah, all those restaurants and stuff, they'll get people coming down there. Nobody will ever say thanks to us. In fact, they'll probably just bitch about us to their downtown buddies.
Well, and your timing's perfect because the rally's not till 1, so it'll go till probably 2:30.
Yeah, we'll be quick.
So it'll be after lunch, but before the after work crowd.
We've thought it all through, Brad. We've left no stone unturned.
We pay attention to detail.
Do you remember? You're an Indianapolis lifer. I mean, I know you're Lawrence now, but you're essentially an Indianapolis lifer. Do you remember the property tax fight in 07 and 08?
Yeah.
We had Sean Shepard on last week, and I'm trying to figure out where the General Assembly changed and why, because they were all on board with that. Like, they were key players in that game of getting property tax reform done, and you compare and contrast it to now, it's like they don't want any part of it.
No. Well,
they wanted to make Mitch Daniels happy.
They did want to make Mitch Daniels happy, and you had the Tea Party dangling out there in the ether, who was also running candidates, and a few of the Tea Party people did get elected. And then there was some mild property tax relief, and that's when the property tax cuts came in. But then that did not account for inflation and just increased appreciation on homes, and it all was negated, and everybody's maxed it out anyhow now.
All right, so we got to talk about gaming.
Yeah.
You got a blow. I know you were very disappointed. The iGaming went down. So you want to explain to everybody what iGaming is?
So iGaming is on your phone. That was not specifically something I was interested in. I was more interested in gaming in bars.
This would be the idea that you could play blackjack on a little screen in a bar. Like if you went to Moe's Tavern, you could then theoretically, or Coach's, let's just take a real place, Coach's Tavern. You could theoretically, if you wanted to, you could put a screen up there, and then you could sit there while you drink your beer and play poker, right?
Right, yeah, exactly. It would be poker, whatever. Basically, anything that you'd see at a casino in like Anderson or Shelbyville.
Who didn't want this? Is casinos? Casinos got mad?
Yeah, anybody that's got gaming interests already. So it'd be the casinos, the horse tracks, which kind of are the casinos now.
Yeah.
The people who already have sports betting. Let's see, who else would be in this mix? The lottery did not want it.
The lottery didn't want it. I thought the lottery wanted a game. They wanted some sort of electronic game.
They did want some sort of a game, but they didn't want bars to have it.
They didn't want competition.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
they wanted to have it, but they were like, no, not those guys.
Yeah, exactly. So we're doing this for the people.
Yes. So I always hear how we need more money, right? There's never enough money for the children or the street lights or the snowplows.
Libraries.
Seems like this would have made a lot of money for the children, the street lights, and the snowplows.
It would have, but apparently they're not hurting that bad. And our friend Jim Merritt keeps saying that there's going to be a revenue report that comes out saying that the state did much better than
He's very optimistic. I'm not optimistic.
He is. I'm not as optimistic either, but Jim says it, and Jim knows people. So he might have some sort of insider information on it.
Before we let you go, what are you doing here? Are you taking my job?
I was here for Indiana Issues to record that for this weekend with Abdul, but Abdul got stuck in court because Gabe Whitley's sentencing is today, and they have not yet called that case.
Okay.
Boy.
Did you guys see that Gabe was protesting outside of the judge's house last night, giving her name and her address?
I try to avoid anything related with that guy anymore. He's kind of run his course, and he's boring and a nuisance, and hopefully he'll end up in prison before it's all said and done and not able to harm other people.
Not exactly sure what contempt of court is, but I would say that's probably it.
Brad Klopfenstein, thank you.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
When plumbing problems arise, you need them fixed fast and right. The LD Smith Plumbing crew knows how to put water in its place. We do it all, from the kitchen sink to delicate repairs in historic homes, and we'll always give you honest advice at a fair price. So if you're worried about the cost of plumbing repairs, call today for a free second opinion on a competitor's estimate.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance, but Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Monitoring the rain chances. 48 degrees here on Monument Circle. I'm Sasha Nixon. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Forecasters say rain is possible as temperatures drop. Greg Mello with the National Weather Service Indianapolis says they're keeping an eye on the chances.
Right now it looks dry. Just wouldn't completely rule it out yet. It's just this time of year it's really easy for us to have, some lingering low-level moisture that keeps maybe some light rain around.
Mello says it will be windy for the next few days. Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita is revealing settlements reached with several auto dealers. Rokita's team entered settlements last month with Flexible Auto Sales, Zoom Auto Sales, U.S. Auto Finance, and Nissan of Warsaw after they were accused of engaging in deceptive conduct, including odometer fraud. They have agreed to pay restitution. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob, and man, am I totally jazzed for this spring because my lawn is going to be looking great thanks to the folks at Save a Tree, the tree, shrub, and lawn experts. Yeah, I told you, Monday, Sean from Save a Tree came out to my house, took a look around, and we've got a game plan we're putting together to make my yard look great after some tough winter weather. We're still getting the details ironed out, but hopefully very soon I'll be able to share with you some of the things they're going to be doing to make my lawn look picture perfect. Oh, and weed-free as well. The envy of the neighborhood. I was super impressed with how professional Sean from Save a Tree was, how he laid out all the different options, things I hadn't even thought about that could have some long-term ramifications for my yard. Check it out for yourself. Visit their website, saveatree.com. That's SAVATREE.com. SAVATREE.com. Or dial pound 250 on your smart device. Say the keyword, Save a Tree. SaveAtree.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Hey, it's your girl. Before we talk about her, somebody just sent us a note saying that March 17th is great. They just got it the day off approved yesterday. So that's good. We know at least one person is in for the property tax reform rally, which is taking place Monday, March 17th at 1 p.m. at the State House. And we invite you to wear green.
That's right. Yeah. So we'll obviously have all sorts of details about that as we get closer. What's going on with Katy Perry? What's happening?
Her and Gayle King and Lauren Sanchez, they're going to join 3 other women, and they're going to be on Blue Origin's next mission.
So it's a real high traffic district headed up there to space. Huh?
They're going to space. They're going to launch.
What, nothing? You get nothing? Not even a chuckle?
High traffic?
Somebody cackle? Nothing?
It's okay. So you've got these 3 women.
Kev's over there dying, and you're not nothing. Like you didn't even break character. Yeah, thank you. I was pretty proud of that. Yeah. I mean, let's face it. Her. I don't know about Gayle King. I have no idea. But Katy Perry and what's her face? Jersey Chaser.
Lauren Sanchez.
That's Bezos' wife, right?
Correct.
They've been, or girlfriend, or whatever she is. They've enjoyed the company of some gentleman callers. Mm-hmm. That's a safe assessment. Wasn't Katy Perry, was she with Russell Brand at one point?
Yeah, wasn't she with him?
Yeah.
And she's currently married,
right?
Or with Orlando Bloom?
Yeah. She just
you love her though.
Well,
you
I
like
did.
her music.
No. I did. Yes, I do. A Teenage Dream is one of the 10 greatest songs of all time. Mm-hmm. Last Friday Night is basically a Broad Ripple autobiography. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's phenomenal. And I always get crap for this, but I think her music, her old music, like the 2010-ish, like 2007 to 2010-ish stuff is phenomenal. I think it's great. And if that makes me a bad person, if loving that Katy Perry is wrong, I don't want to be right, Casey.
So she's going to space, Rob. I mean, like
literally?
Yeah, like literally. It's
Why?
It's about an 11-minute journey. They reach an altitude of over 62 miles.
Wait. You can make it to space in 11 minutes?
They are.
I can't
apparently,
even
Blue
get to
Origin.
Plainfield from Brownsburg in 11 minutes. So I can get to space now faster than I can go from Brownsburg to Plainfield.
There's going to be no pilot on board.
What?
Yeah.
Wait.
No pilot.
No. So they're just in there?
Yeah.
What if something goes wrong?
Good luck. So they're going to experience weightlessness and views of Earth from space.
Yeah.
They're going to have 3 large parachutes for a safe landing.
But what good is that going to do them? There's no pilot.
Correct.
Oh, the machine is going to have 3 parachutes. So it's going to go up in the air. You will technically enter space, and then you will re-enter Earth's atmosphere.
Yep. You want to know how much it's costing? This is the deposit only.
Oh, they're paying for this.
Oh, they're
It's
paying.
not like they were like, we're going to take these celebrities and send them up into space. No, is this a Bezos thing?
Yeah, it is.
He's making his girlfriend pay?
Well, I'm sure she's not paying, but the other people are. It's a $150,000 deposit.
What's the actual price?
I don't have that information.
So can you not back out now? If you said...
I'm sure you can back out at any point.
I had something come up.
You can probably get in the seat and then say, never mind.
I couldn't get a babysitter.
I changed my mind.
Okay, if Kevin...
They say that tickets are like in the 6-digit range.
Well, clearly,
You're
if the deposit's $150,000,
Yeah.
let's say it's $500,000. Maybe it's more, but let's just say it's $500,000.
I'm guessing it's more, but go ahead.
Kevin, if someone paid you $500,000, would you do this venture? Not you don't have to pay, but paid you $500,000, would you do this venture?
Yeah, I'd do that.
For real?
Yeah.
Like if somebody said, here is $500,000 million, you will risk going into space without a pilot, you're like, sign me up for that.
Yeah, I think it'd go smoothly, I think.
How about you?
Fingers crossed.
If I said, here's a briefcase with $500,000 in it, and you got to go up into space, and you got to sit by Gail King and Sanchez.
I don't think so. I'm afraid of heights, and that's like the ultimate height.
Oh, yeah. That sounds incredibly risky.
I think would you say this is probably safer than the Titanic submersible?
That's what I was thinking. This is like these rich people just can't get enough of what's on Earth, so they have to go to these great lengths to do this, millionaire tourism activities.
To his point, though, and my wife is on some kick with this submersible thing. I have no idea why she's back on it again. That was like a year ago, right?
Yeah, it was just in the news recently. I know they just released the audio of it.
She is on some sort of kick with this where she's listening to all these podcasts on it again. And I finally just the other night was like, what else is there to learn at this point? What are you hearing here that you have not already? And this is incredibly depressing, right? It's not like you're listening to some success story.
Right.
The thing always ends the same. It capsizes and everyone's dead. And it's like, can we listen to something? Can we listen to something else? Anything. Even if it's a podcast about serial killers where they caught the serial killer. At least there was some justice in the end, right? Gacy, Dahmer, whoever, right? They all died. But what you realize in this podcast is these super rich people did apparently no research whatsoever on how risky this thing actually was, because it was basically paper mache, it sounds like.
They just, believed?
I don't know.
That it was going to be okay?
It was a video game controller and paper mache, and they're like, we'll go down and see the Titanic. It'll be fine.
Yeah, if someone paid me $500,000 to go to the bottom of the ocean, I would definitely not do that.
You would not do that, but you would get in a rocket.
I think, I'd get in a rocket.
Is this because Bezos is making the rocket, thus he would not put a bad product out there? Because that would be a disaster for him if that thing blew up.
His wife's are they married? They're
I don't
married.
know.
Yeah.
They are. Are you guessing? You kind of said it like you answered the question with
I think they're married. Aren't they married?
I don't know, Casey. How many times do I have to tell you? You can look it up. I don't care enough to look it up. There's no amount of money you could pay me to do this.
They are married.
They are married. What do you think that prenup looked like?
Oh, a lot.
Oh, wait, never mind. I'm looking at his previous wife.
Yeah.
Yes, he was married, and she took a lot of his money.
Fiance. She's listed as the fiance. Jeff Bezos' fiance.
Okay.
Lauren Sanchez.
Maybe this is how he's
going to
get rid of her. Maybe the rocket is his plan to get rid of her.
Oh, boy.
Oh, it was out beyond my control.
Well, you said he wouldn't put out a bad product, but she certainly would, right?
Well, maybe getting rid of her was worth the bad product. Who knows? There's no way. No amount of money on God's green earth you could pay me to go up in that thing. I mean, I would die of a heart attack. It wouldn't even matter if the mission was successful.
Would you go in that car, that new car? I don't know if you saw it yesterday, that automaker LF Aeronautics. The car that flies.
What? What is this, the Jetsons? Are we an episode of the Jetsons?
A flying car?
Where? Where is a car flying? I just drove to work. I saw no flying cars. Where is the car flying?
Well, it was their introduction yesterday. They were putting out this video of this car. It didn't look like a car, and it's the type of thing you wouldn't want to get in when it rains because it looked like a drone with cardboard around it.
No, we got to rewind the tape. It's a flying car. It doesn't look like a car. Then it's not a flying car. It's just something that's flying.
They've had over 3,000 pre-orders for this flying car.
What's it called?
It's LF Aeronautics, ALEF.
Yep.
U.S. automaker, LF Aeronautics. Prove the sky's not the limit for vehicles. They released their first ever footage of a flying car. It goes like 0 to 5 miles per hour in 60 seconds. It just like floats. It looks like it's a drone that was just wrapped in cardboard.
Oh, it looks like the Batmobile. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's like a Batmobile.
But do you see it flying?
No, it's on the ground. It's got wheels here.
Right,
so it's
like from a bicycle.
I mean, it's got the cover. Like, you know how in the especially the new ones, they did it too, where he's driving the thing and then he can like have some protective shield go around it. That's exactly what it looks like.
But they've had over 3,000 pre-orders for it, and it's going to list for $300,000.
But it flies?
It does fly, not very quickly.
But where can
not like the Blue Origin rocket, which is going to space.
Where do you fly it at? I mean, you can't just get on the road and say, I would like to.
Well, you don't need roads.
But where can you go? Like if I'm on 465, there's not a low-level automobile flying over me. That's not a thing.
Be.
No, you got to have a permit for that.
You think so?
Who's giving a permit? Oh, there it is.
You see it flying now?
Oh, there it is. Oh, my goodness. Who would possibly engage in this?
Yeah.
It looks like, you know what it looks like? Like some bad graphic from some bad sci-fi movie.
That's what I'm saying. It looks like it's just a drone.
Oh, here it goes.
That's been wrapped in cardboard.
There it is. What are you... Oh, it's doing Evel Knievel. It's jumping over a Tahoe. Look at this.
Sure it is.
This is amazing. It's like the Evel Knievel of cars.
Over a Tahoe.
Yeah, here it goes. Oh, it just goes straight up in the air. It doesn't even have to, like, it's not like going like a ramp.
It doesn't need a runway or anything.
No, it just, you're right, exactly. It just
kind of goes straight up.
It just lifts up and then it flies, I guess.
It's like a UFO.
It's more like idling because it's so slow.
Yeah, and it can't go very far.
No.
So what's the point of any of this? Oh, here it is. Okay, now it's going on the ground. I'm watching this video. There's a Bro Bible has this up, and it's on the ground. It's driving like a regular automobile. It does look like in this video, it looks exactly like the 1960s TV Batmobile. And now it's standing. Now it's sitting. Okay, it's on a street here. Oh, there it goes. It just elevated.
Yeah.
It was like something out of The Exorcist.
Well, to me, it just seems like this Olaf Aeronautics, they're just looking for investors at this point because they released this video and it's kind of pathetic looking, don't you think? I mean, it looks like it'd fall apart in the rain.
I don't even think this is real. This strikes me. Oh, okay, this is real. Okay, here it goes. It's a car. There's a car sitting in a street. It's on a like a suburban street. There's tree-lined houses next to it. It's going over this SUV of some sort. Now it's hovering again. Like, other than to park this thing in a tight parking spot, what would be the point of owning this?
Well, you could avoid traffic. It would just take you forever to get there.
Yeah, I mean,
like you're not getting there fast.
Does it use gas? Is it
I believe it's electric.
It's an electric car.
Yeah.
Huh. I mean, it's a great. Oh, now it's parked right in front of a house on a suburban street. This is
Sure
amazing.
is.
Who's leaving that there? Gee, hope it's there when I come back. What's it sell for?
$300,000.
There's my $300,000 automobile. I know. I'll park it over on MLK and just hope it's still there.
Can you really call it an automobile? Like, I feel like it needs a different name. It's not a car.
We have bottomed out as society. You know that?
It's something else.
I mean,
okay.
this is the thing.
How about the NFL? They're getting rid of the chain gang.
Great. Thank
and
you.
this is for the Hawkeye virtual measurement.
This is after Frogger Ref rigged the game or caused the game to be rigged is a strong word. Frogger Ref, as we identified him. So in the Bills-Chiefs AFC Championship game, there's a video of Josh Allen, the quarterback for the Bills, fourth down play, quarterback sneak. He leans forward. The two refs are running in from opposite sides. This is the key play in the game. The one ref is running well ahead of where the first down marker would be. The other ref is running slightly behind him, but still would have been where first down is. A Chiefs player intercedes, gets up in the ref's grill. He moves backwards like Frog in the game Frogger, and then that becomes the line of sight in the first down, and they don't, for the first down, he doesn't get the first down, and the Chiefs end up winning the game, and I lost $6.
Well, this new system, it uses cameras inside the stadium to track the players, the officials, and the ball.
Great.
And apparently it underwent a bunch of testing last year, and this year they're rolling it out.
The refs are going to have to get more creative to rig these games for the Chiefs. They're making it harder on them.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, will we see the Epstein list and the death of Gene Hackman and a very interesting place it took me? That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Recent talk about rising interest rates and economic uncertainty may have you wondering if now is the right time to sell your home. Will I get the price I need? Will it take too long? The good news, you don't have to figure this out by yourself. There's a friendly, no-pressure, experienced agent who eats and sleeps Indianapolis real estate. Call Mark Dietl. Perhaps you're worried about costly repairs or upgrades needed to sell your home. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Greg and Franklin had to say about working with Mark Dietl. My tenant moved out of my investment property and I was ready to sell. I heard about Mark on the radio and everything they say is true. In 15 days on the market, I had a cash offer I wanted on the property. Selling with Mark Dietl was fast, easy, and profitable. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietl at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietl.com. It's Mark, DIETEL.com.
Why do so many foundation companies want half your money up front? Could it be because it's easier to get than earning all your trust? At the Michaelis Corporation, they don't ask for a deposit until the job is done and you're completely satisfied. They even start with a free inspection to ensure you know exactly what your home needs without the guesswork. With over 35 years experience, they've proven that trust is built on results, not deposits. Michaelis, building trust beneath your feet. Visit michaeliscorp.com.
I'll say this. There are no entries in the Hoops Fan Hall of Fame who didn't show up to the game. Yes, you in the back.
Professor, March Madness is coming to Indianapolis. Are we ready?
You prepared to bring the fire? Give it 110 from tip to the final buzzer? Oh, you're ready. The NCAA Sweet 16 and Elite 8, March 28th and 30th in Indianapolis. Buy your seats today at ncaa.com/MBB tickets. Class dismissed.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
In the afternoon, neath the summer sun, will I by the lake till the evening comes? I run my fingers through your sunstreak.
Rob, I'm sure it's something that you do every single day. In fact, I think that you have spoken that you do this in the car before you enter the building every day, and that is pray.
I pray 3 times a day consistently.
Yeah.
I pray usually numerous times throughout the course of the day in small little prayers, but I pray over my family before we leave for the day. I pray when I get to work.
Mm-hmm.
And then I pray before we go to bed. So I kind of 3 sort of main prayers each day.
Yeah, and you might sprinkle them in throughout the day when you need a little extra strength.
Like every so often I'll be like, dear Lord, please don't let Casey kill me, even though I know I deserve it.
That's probably a good prayer. Well, there's a new poll that came out that said just 44% say they pray daily, and that is down.
What's the number?
44%.
It's a small number. I would think more people, maybe I'm wrong, that more people than 44% are believers, but maybe, boy, that's an incredibly low number.
Yep, and it's even shrinking how many Americans identify as Christian. It's 62% now.
Yeah, well, so thank you. So that is, I mean, that number being low, 62%, but I think the more concerning thing is, okay, you've got 62% of the populace identifying as Christian, yet only 44% are identifying
that pray every day.
that they pray on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And it's like, maybe you're not understanding how this
works.
this works, right? Look, prayer is powerful. Prayer does work. We talk about this a lot of times, like with Life Church, that, and not just you praying, but having people pray for you. And that's a little disheartening that a few amount of people are participating in a daily sort of direct relationship with God.
So let's see how it's broken down. This is across America. As I mentioned, 62% identify themselves as Christian.
Yeah.
It's 40% Protestant, 19% Catholic, and 3% with another Christian affiliation.
Okay. All right. So, I don't, and that's down. Is that right? Is that correct? That number collectively is down from where it used to be. Okay. Well, look, everybody's, one of the great things about this country is you're free to lead your life as you see fit for the most part, as long as you don't harm others. And part of that is your freedom to have or not have a relationship with God. And no one person can tell you what to do or make you do what you don't want to do. But I have always thought this, that even if you're not a person who believes deeply in Scripture or is a person who has some sort of set, definitive belief as it relates to, a higher being, be a pretty lonely existence to think you just close your eyes one day and everything shuts off. Like I've always pondered that from people who identify as atheists. I thought, man, that's a pretty. And what are you actually living for then? If indeed there's just one day in your mind you shut your eyes and the whole world shuts off.
So, according to this study, Americans overall believe that a religious tilt is a positive thing. But when you look at how they view the country, 21% say they strongly favor declaring the United States as a Christian nation.
What percentage?
21%.
21%. Okay.
So just a quarter, just a fifth, really.
Sure.
27% strongly favor teacher-led Christian prayer in public school.
Yeah.
And then 20% strongly favor allowing religious displays on public property. So while 62% declare themselves as Christian, no more than a quarter think that we should say that we're a Christian nation.
Well, and I think that's where it comes down to, so much of what has happened in this country, at least as it relates to, you are, for the most part, a product of your environment, right? Obviously people have bad upbringings or whatever and get out and become incredibly productive members of society. But if you look at most people, they become a product of their environment, whatever that environment is. And that's true not only obviously when you're a kid, but it's also true as you become an adult, like in your role models and people that you looked up to. I think about, I was just thinking about this the other day. It's kind of funny. So the people that mentored me were, for the most part, phenomenal radio broadcasters. So much of what I do here every day came from different people in this industry who took time out of their lives to, in some shape, form, or fashion, mentor me, have an influence on me. And that's why we're really good at this. I am sort of a hybrid of a group of very incredibly gifted and talented people. And you take little bits from those people and you incorporate into this, and it's a #1 radio show. And I give full credit to so many of those people.
Yeah.
But while they were great professional mentors,
doesn't necessarily mean they were religious mentors.
Well, and it also doesn't mean they were great personal influences. And it took me about 15 years to figure that out. That maybe
they can be separate.
Maybe you don't have the best personal influences. While professionally they're great. And so I think a big part of this is, and actually we're talking about this right now with Life Church on the ads we're running here about, they've got the summer programs and the spring programs for kids that are coming up. Because when people are young is your best opportunity between the ages of 4 and 14 to influence a relationship with Jesus Christ. And I think so much of this is, as it relates to education, we are gutting, especially in the public education system, how this country was put together and the people who put this country together. And their big part of it was their deep belief in God and their deep dedication to their faith. And so much of what we have today is based and rooted in that, but so many kids don't know that. They don't have any idea about that.
Does Life Church do Vacation Bible School?
They do, yes.
Yeah,
LifeChurchIN.com. You can read all about it now.
I figured that's what you were talking about. But I just find it really interesting that 62% identify as Christian, but only 27% say, yeah, I want prayer in school. And only a fifth say that there should be religious things on display in public places. So it's like, I'm Christian. That's how I view myself. But on the other hand, they're okay with it not being around them.
Yeah, and I mean, like there's such this misinterpretation of what the Constitution says and freedom of religion, and all it says is the government can't force you to participate in a religion. It can't force you to participate in a sense of being. It doesn't say that anywhere that they can't. Like the 10 Commandments. It's such an utterly ridiculous thing, the idea that there can't be the 10 Commandments on a courthouse law. And people have no idea what they're talking about. It absolutely doesn't say that anywhere. But look at the decline of the country. And part of, and I don't mean to sound like some, 60-year-old blue hair here, but the reality is a strong moral code and a way of living is vital to the success of any society. Now, I'm not saying that you've got to enter the priesthood.
Right.
But what I am saying is I think a big semblance of right and wrong, and even if you're not a person who is deeply devout to any sort of faith, but the idea of your sense of right and wrong comes from an obligation to God. And so much of, so many people who do harm to others do not have a rooted foundation.
Were you surprised that Donald Trump opened his first cabinet meeting with prayer?
No, why not?
That didn't surprise me either.
Any person should be thanking the big man upstairs to be still with us, it would be him, right?
And so many people, I don't want religion in my government. Well, gosh, don't you want your president guided by some deep moral belief?
Well, that's the point, right?
Yeah.
And look, I know it's a different perspective for you, as have you spent your entire life as Catholic? Were you raised Catholic?
Yeah, baptized when I was a baby.
Now, I don't mean to pry into your personal life, but was your husband also Catholic, or did he have to?
No, he was Catholic as well.
So you two, so that probably made it easier, because I know with the Catholic faith, there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? I was going to say rules and regulations, but that sounds horrible.
Well, sure.
I didn't mean it in a negative way, but I'm saying that there's a lot of requirements and how you participate as an active Catholic.
Yeah, no, I mean, we got married in the Catholic Church, and our daughter had her first Holy Communion, and so she was raised Catholic as well. It did, as far as the religious front of a marriage, it did make it easy, because neither one of us had to convert, or we didn't have to teach the other one. We knew, and we actually went through pre-Cana classes together.
Oh, we went through what?
Pre-Cana classes. It's a class.
That's a Catholic thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's kind of like...
How exciting.
And one of the things I can recall that was brought up in the pre-Cana classes is, was it Rush Limbaugh, or was it Larry King, who was married multiple times?
Oh, man, I think they both were married.
Both of them. I can't remember which one they were
Rush
referring to.
definitely was.
But the couple that did our pre-Cana classes, because, they knew that we were both in radio, and so they were trying to relate to us, and they were saying, it was either Larry King or Rush Limbaugh, but they were saying, they're always looking for the BBD, the bigger, better deal. And that's where that BBD came from, was my pre-Cana classes. And they said, don't always be looking over your shoulder for the BBD, the bigger, better deal, and trying to replace your spouse. Work on those issues with each other.
I believe Rush was married 3 times, Larry King 8 times to 7 different women. So
8 times?
Both would apply, according to the internet. And why would the internet lie to me?
Okay, so, not to besmirch their
names. All right,
names.
you people go pray. You people go pray.
Sounds like a good idea.
Of this segment.
All right. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kevin. And thank you for listening today. This has been Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Everyone's talking about Galaxy Concrete Coating and their transformation, like your neighbor Mike.
Well, the local company that we used first was highly recommended by people in our neighborhood. We did not know until after it didn't work on our floor. It just healed up like a cheap suit. And so my wife says, we got to do something. And so she started looking around on the internet, and she found Galaxy.
Lots of styles to choose from, 4 times stronger than epoxy, and it comes with a lifetime warranty.
We got Galaxy out here. They got here at about 8 o'clock in the morning and they finished up at 6 o'clock that night. Other than having a beautiful garage floor, you couldn't tell they were here. Just did a wonderful job on it.
Galaxy Concrete Coatings works for any area like patios, garage floors, driveways, and around pools.
Still looks fantastic, and anybody that visits our house, that's all they want to talk about. I mean, they just can't believe how nice the garage floor looks.
Click on GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com and remember to like us on Facebook, GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com. We are out of this world.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-0395. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-939-1331. 800-939-1331. 800-939-1331.
Build your cybersecurity skills and prep for thousands of open positions employers are desperate to fill. Attend classes live online or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up.
Shoot him down like the mangy scoundrel he is.
Extremely proud of this tentative agreement.
Because of the scourge of fentanyl being smuggled into the U.S. at unacceptable rates.
Hoosiers expect of their federal government.
This is the WIBC News at Noon.
Academy Award-winning actor and novelist Gene Hackman, dead at the age of 95.
I'm Ryan Hedrick.
And I'm John Herrick. Here's what